T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Here we go. There we go. I love that music. And it gives me time to add tags. We're here to get beefy.
I pledge allegiance to the beef, to the United Beef of America, and to the beef of which it stands, one beef, under beef. You get it.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, I thought I sent you the link. Check your Twitter.
Check your X.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on.
I heard your sound effect there.
Oh, that's eBay. It's eBay. Ooh, I sold something.
Ching, ching. I heard the ching.
Ching! Yeah.
Octagon,
let me check. Fuck, let me get out of this.
You got the money, baby.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I sent you the video. My bad. I'm like, where's this asshole at? Yeah.
You damn boy.
Oh, we're talking beef. I did not expect this. We're getting allegations and insinuations. I was just ready to laugh at some Isom. I really hate the book in a fun way. Like, I'm very entertained by the horror that is Isom literarily. But I don't wish any ill will. I would love to see this, like, wow, this like crappy series ended up becoming great. I mean, this happens with comics. Some people start, they suck, and they keep at it with that character, and then it becomes good. Hey, what is up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Growing your hair out?
Yeah, a little bit. I used to have really long hair, and since the pandemic, I've always cut my own hair. So, like, what I do is I get my clippers, and I just go like this.
Okay.
And do the sides.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're always kind of ad-lib this just weekly hangout discussing whatever. You never know if it'll be just, I'm tired, or just, we talked about the crap. It's an hour and a half. We did our time for the week. Or it'll be like 4 or 5 hours. But before we get into the beef, actually, talking about, I didn't mean to send you that video, but we're going to react to it.
Yeah, I thought maybe you wanted to react to it. That's why you wanted me to
That is not, no, I just saw.
It's big news.
I just saw the update on Twitter about, he's legitimately getting sued by Ministry. So withhold the suspense for people. Eric July of Ripaverse Comics, LLC, whatever, of Isom, which you've heard me talking about on the stream. He's getting sued by International School of Ministry. I guess just based on the trademark. Now, with my very rudimentary understanding, this is, I'm pretty sure you can have different acronyms for your company, and they can be the same as other companies. You can be like, oh yeah, we are Pepsi, but it's like, we are the peptic.
Well, and Isom is just a product under it's the
like,
Ripaverse company with the Isom comic.
Right. So technically, if he hasn't trademarked Isom, he probably has trademarked the Ripaverse's Isom, like Marvel's Thor. You can't trademark Thor. It's public domain. It's a god. People actually worship that character.
Plus, like the mediums,
like Meth Gator. I cannot trademark Meth Gator. I can trademark whatever I make my company names, Meth Gator. And then if you infringe on that specific iteration, then I can sue you. Or like there's a Meth Gator movie coming out. So like, unless they try to like screw me with making my comic totally unrelated, a totally unrelated story, then there could be beef where I could sue them for trying to suppress.
It looks like they're going like just the regular Godzilla,
but
kaiju route or something. So it's like
the title totally Meth Gator, especially with a news source, is not a viable, like, you can't trademark that. You have to trademark.
But also, I feel like there's also like different mediums type of thing. Whatever whatever the Isom Ministry thing is not going to be confused with a comic book. I wouldn't think.
Right, exactly.
Extremely different.
Like, now, if it was like the dog toy, they did a parody dog toy of Jack Daniels, and somehow they won the case. Unfortunately, which is a bad thing for any of us. There's things like that where it's more, I would guess, money behind the scenes that really solidifies Jack Daniels stifling any creativity, playing with like their bottle design. So I think the argument was like, well, they copied our bottle design for the toy, and it's like, if it was just labeled in the style of Jack Daniels, we couldn't get them, but they did our bottle, which is like, this is our product. We are the ones that own this bottle shape. It's patented. That's the argument that tied with the copyright thing, but regardless, before we get into any of that, just want to let you know, like, I was not intending to actually dig deep into. I was just going to be like, haha, look, Eric July's going to have to fucking deal with this crap. What's the legitimacy? Probably nothing, but he's, having to shell out some money for court. And will he recoup any expenses? It's more of like a little thorn. It's like, you stepped on a nail. That was kind of my sentiment of like, it sucks, but whatever. But like, this sounds really serious. I don't wish any ill will to his company, or or to his progress making what I think are bad books that I am enjoying how bad they are. And we could totally discuss that as well, right? Because I know you seem to be a fan. I definitely want to pick your brain. I don't get it. But yeah, there's a lot of allegations with people I'm fans of. And if it's true, I will definitely have to. What's the word? I won't disassociate. I think these guys are funny, but I'll definitely have to, chastise them, rightfully so, and be in the Eric July camp for justice, regardless of my view of his products, whatever. It's like I am an honest, objective guy.
Yeah. Before we do that, should we do our horn of drink?
No. Yeah, I gotta go in the kitchen and get my cream soda.
I know your drink ready. Okay.
But I watched it, but I left it on my couch. But yeah, I got a new bottle of Crown Vanilla. We're joined with our friend. Been on here before.
Okay.
Theater presents.
Sorry. I was just reading something. Isom stands for the International School of Ministry.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
I think the argument that they might try to make is that this more well-known IP, the Isom comic series, especially with its cross on his crotch or whatever, alluding to possible some Christian angle, can negatively affect the association with our label Isom as an acronym. That would be my guess, not being a law expert at all. That would be my guess of like what the angle.
Yeah, I think that is part of. I think that is part of the assumption. But it's weird because like there hasn't been any emphasis on it in the book or any specific mention of Christianity, even as far as I know. I think they mentioned church once, a church lady.
He does have a cross on his outfit.
Yeah,
but I mean there hasn't been like emphasis to that. Like that hasn't been like
it's not been plot.
It hasn't been important to the plot or like anybody going, hey, why is there a cross on your crotch or something? Like nobody's said it. No, it hasn't been brought to attention. So it's like if their claim is that this could muddy the waters with our thing. It's like you're really stretching because like I didn't even notice it until somebody pointed it out. I was like, oh, guess there is one there. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen videos of Eric talk about Christianity really, so I don't know how important it is to him or not. If anything, I would think his religion is abstract libertarianism.
I've listened to him for years and years, like way before the Rippaverse thing, and way before I even knew about like Comicsgate, and I've never heard him like mention like anything religious at all ever. But his popularity, was because like he was standing up for the right, early on, with like a lot of the freedom fighters that were really in the know, like even like when Trump took office,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm still sub to the guy, but depending on the topic he's discussing, like I'll listen to him. I think most of the content, just like all of his peers, it's low-hanging fruit. It's easy to be, wokeness, But given I've seen some of his comic videos, and it's like that is what's shocking to me about Isom is given I've seen his commentary about stuff. So I would there's like a minimum bar threshold that I'm expecting, and I'm like, how this isn't like it's your first time. This is just like if you read a story and you've criticized or discuss like plot points and progression, things like that, where I'm like, I don't get it as like a fan adoration for it, and I don't get like how he could make it in the state I think it's in. But we'll discuss that more. We are going to react to this new video by Eric July. Let me pull it up and break it down, discuss, give our commentary. But before that, what I was wanting to do, Brian, tell us about your comic. Do you have any like page to show us, or just to prep us for like the fun of my comic coming out?
I do have a couple of proofs.
I can't remember which one I backed. I think I backed the one on the right because I like orcas and stuff, but this one just seemed.
I like the one on the right, on our right. Looks really good on your left hand. Now on your right hand. Is I like that one.
See how I did that?
Yeah.
That's all. I was like, no, not trying to trick me now.
Wait, no,
No, the other left. The other left. The other one.
So this is like the main cover A. There's 200 copies of this being printed. It's at the printer right now. I was supposed to get all of them yesterday, but they're just a little slow. Like they called in a bindery to make sure like everything's perfect. And there will be 200 of cover A and then 150 of cover B. So this one was slightly more popular, and it's like the main cover. And then, but a lot of people like this one a lot, and so I just wanted to like make it like a little more rare. And my fulfillment is 80. No, it's like 120 books. So of that, so like I'm printing like a total of 350, and my fulfillment is like 120. So the surplus, I'm going to be like doing local comic shops. I might do like a convention. And then I also want to like put a number like how many are left and sell those on Fund My Comic. I don't know if you guys know about Fund My Comic at all.
Yeah, back to a couple of
things
the
Okay.
AR-13L, the aerial
Mermaid.
There's a couple others I think Edwin, the white
Ace.
leopard.
Yeah, he's the white leopard one now, or I forget what his latest title is that he has. But yeah.
When I do that, like on Fund My Comic, like so like once fulfillment's done, I'm also gonna like work on a black and white version that'll just be exclusively available on Fund My Comic.
Okay, sweet.
Nice.
On both of these books, the back cover is the same.
Okay,
nice.
I just did it because like this is my first book, and I wanted the real estate. Like what do I want to do with the back cover? Like draw another cover, right? So
yeah.
So that's why I went with that. I've got like a couple of like double page spreads in it. It's all in full color.
Looks good. Is that still available anywhere right now to purchase, or not until they're available
You
on
fucked up.
Comic?
You should have came on the stream, replayed it, and purchased it.
Like
now I'm going to sell it on eBay for twice as much.
But I want people to read it first. Like I want a little bit of like word of mouth, like going, what I mean? Before.
Oh, you're gonna.
I got you.
You're gonna get it.
Yeah, well, once it's on the Fund My Comic thing again, I'll make a purchase there. I'm trying to. I have like 40 or so CG back books, but I haven't read any of them until now. I'm starting to read them and stuff, so I'm starting to do actual reviews now. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to. Do you have your own channel?
Yeah, the Rookie Critic, but I'm doing them on my second channel, the Fandom Collective. I'll put links here in the chat so that you can see them.
Cool.
Yeah, when they
I'll
come up.
Subscribe to you.
Yep, I'll start putting up reviews in October, I think. So I'm trying to take my time, trying to do them differently than I've seen people do reviews, so that it's a little different. But yeah, that's the thing too. I want to like showcase a lot of the stuff. I mean, a lot of comic reviews seem to hold back on like. I mean, I don't know how. What do you? What's your opinion on how much to show in a review, like of like the comic essentially? Because of course I don't think you should show all of it, but it's like. I don't know if people go like, oh, over 5 pages, that's a little much. And it's like, well, I don't know. What if you're like dissecting what's on there and like really getting into it?
I don't necessarily like think a certain number is bad or good, but like don't basically like don't read the book. You know what I mean? Like don't like. Yeah,
usually I think there's like taking like whiting out the captions or the text or something. Is what I've seen people do, where they white out the text speech, the speech bubbles or whatever.
Or like don't show like a number of pages like all in sequential order.
Right.
So like people like can like a lot for me like a lot of movies. I don't go watch the movie. Like I just watch the review.
Right.
Like they watch it so I don't have to, it's almost like all movies, so I can see like where, you know, like some certain like spoilers, you know what I mean, like would make somebody like not really want to dive into it, you know.
Well, I guess from where I'm coming at with a lot of the ones that I'm currently reviewing, like ones that some campaigns that have been done for like 2 or 3 years or so, like I feel like, you know, a lot of those ones, I'm not sure, like, because I'm like, well, is anybody buying them now? And I think at this point it would be people would want to know more information about books they've made so that they can determine if they want to see, okay, well, that one sounded good, well, maybe now I want to invest into their latest one and check those out. It's like I'm trying to fish around with different comic people and see how they feel about it, because it's also like you have a limited audience anyway that is hopefully growing, but I mean, how, like, what's it going to be to convince some people? And sometimes you want to know more about what you're going to buy before you make the purchase for some people, instead of like the minimal information. And it's like, well, with the little information, I don't know if I want to invest in like a $30 book or something. So that's what I've been trying to think about lately.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about like the, I think you're spot on, you know, like that you definitely don't need to like worry about it like when it's that old. And like if I wanted to like watch Titanic or Cujo or something else with like a very obvious ending, you know what I mean, like I already like know the gist of the story, but I still want to enjoy the ride, you know. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Do you know anybody that like does webtoons?
That does webtoons? I think Angus does. I think so. I think he's getting his drink right now, so he might be back in a minute.
I stumbled across this one guy on Twitter and like saw his webtoon, and I'm like, God, this is killer, you know. And he's like literally got like 12 issues on, you know, for free to read on webtoons, you know. But you can become a patron, you know, like if you like it, like, so if you're reading like 1 or 2 or 3 and you really like this guy, like I think you're going to support him. And then also he's got a new book coming out that isn't on webtoons, you know what I mean, that's crowdfunded, like, so that can be a real generator,
a good sampler to get you into wanting to back the thing. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been trying to think about lately with what people might want, because there's so many people making comics and crowdfunders and whatnot, and some people have only so much money or like to even hear about them or whatever. They might catch it more on a YouTube video compared to being shared around on Twitter or something. And if the review is just like, well, the paper's good, I like the cover, and they, you know, just give. So there's a lot of vagueness when people do reviews, it seems. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, what's the character like? What did you feel about an interaction in there or something? Was it, where's the, because like I talk about movies all the time, and it's like I like to point out specific scenes that I really like or really hate, and I'll go into both of them, kind of a thing. And I don't hear much of that with comics. And I feel like people are also afraid to step on people's toes. Like if I have a criticism, I want to criticize it, because I also create things too. Like I'm trying to create short films. I want people to criticize the shit out of me if they have a problem with something, you know, like that. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's this one guy on Instagram. I followed him for years, and he's a cool comic book artist. And I watched him do a live stream on Instagram of him reading his whole book. Like he read his whole book, like cover to cover. And, you know, with like voices and stuff, you know what I mean? It was like super entertaining. I loved it. Like I absorbed the whole book. And at the end of it, like it was such a great story. I wanted it, you know? Yeah. So, and like he had, luckily, like he had some available still on his website, you know, so I could go over there and get myself a copy.
That's good. And there's obviously a different experience when you're like watching somebody review it compared to like reading it yourself, or if you want to get a physical copy yourself to have with some of these. So yeah, I've been thinking about that lately too. And I feel like that might help. I feel like that kind of thing might in a way get more people to want to buy some stuff.
Yeah. The physical copy is so much more pleasurable, at least for me. And the printers are so advanced now, like the technology of like the digital coloring, like that file being saved correctly and going and spooling to the printer correctly and it coming out like looking like you want, you know, Like that's come miles and miles in advancement, you know, like this book looks so much like my iPad. It's unbelievable. In some ways, like I think it looks better than my iPad, you know, because it doesn't need to be lit, you know, it doesn't need to be backlit. Like it's all front lit and I'm looking at it, you know, and the colors on it are just unbelievably rich.
Yeah, I think it pops pretty good on there. With what little I've seen so far, it pops really well, which I think is pretty good.
This page.
Already nice. I'll enlarge that for you here. All right. Yeah, nice. Things here going in there. Okay, nice.
So looks basically, good. Like how it's a Land of the Lost story that's underwater, and it starts out like in the underwater realm, and these are the bad guys. They're like they're like the slee stacks in Land of the Lost.
Okay, yeah, like the people that inhabit the world, sort of.
Yeah, and then there's different species, like so there's like dolphin hybrid, whale hybrid, seal hybrid,
megalodon hybrid. No, I was kidding.
Mm-hmm. And here they're fighting a megalodon.
Oh yeah, okay, yes. Do any of them, do they punch a megalodon in the face?
Rookie's favorite.
No, they so he uses his scar, which is like their harpoon lightsaber weapon, and he makes an energy field around himself, so the shark like bites onto that.
Yeah, he's going into it. Okay.
And then the submarine like comes up on top of it, of the megalodon, and he drops a sonic charge that makes him drop.
Oh, nice.
The character.
Looks good. And, that already looks like a creative fight scene right there for something like that.
So then this is the big reveal. So Octagon comes out of Dr. Octagon is the walrus hybrid, and he comes out of the submarine, and he says, "Just be sure you spell my name right."
Of course.
Just be sure you spell my name right, gorgeous. He says, "Hello, Duma. Your cooperation will be duly noted in my report." And then he jumps out and says, "Just spell my name right, gorgeous."
Yep, just doing the business report. Just take care of this big old fish here. No problem.
So these are the bad guys.
Yeah.
And he's got this interdimensional being, this fish. See this fish in Octagon's hand?
Yeah.
And he's seen this fish come through another portal. So it has the same electromagnetic signature as the portals. So it's the key.
Okay, yeah, it's like a little portal jumper there.
All right. And so, and the hitch of the story is that like whoever goes through the portal will be just like this fish.
Oh shoot! All
right. So then we cut to our heroes, and our heroes are in the Bahamas, and they're on a Navy littoral vessel that her boyfriend bought. And she's like, "Oh, you have no idea. The Navy is such a mess right now. So they sold you a battleship, a littoral vessel, Ruby. It can go anywhere. Oh, by the way, we've got something on the sonar. Let's go. What are you waiting for?"
And the adventure begins.
Mm-hmm. And they check their sonar. They hop in this little submarine. They cruise down to the bottom of the ocean. They find an uncharted cavern that shouldn't be there, and the ocean floor disappears underneath of them, and this giant kraken swallows them.
Damn. Nice.
So at this point, I like when writers like divide up things like into chapters as well. So like I just took you basically through like part 1 and 2, and then like I have like a little part 3 right here, you know, like to divide it, you know, so like this
I
is them
gotcha.
like coming out of the portal.
Yeah. Makes it like easier to kind of section off the sections of the story there, process.
Yeah, and I have
So.
I think it's 5 parts and an epilogue.
Damn. Well, it looks good so far, man. I'm liking it.
And one thing that like I sort of I don't know if Angus is listening yet,
I think
but
it is, yeah.
I sort of like
Sorry,
tiptoed
I'm
around.
here. I'm just mixing up a salad. I haven't eaten since like lunch, so.
and like this is all this is all like subtly done. Like I'm not like trying to make this like the theme of the book, but the book is a flat Earth book.
Okay.
And that was something like I kind of like tiptoed around before, you know, like I didn't want to like be written off like as some like, you know,
I gotta say I haven't
whatever.
heard many stories that try to go with the flat Earth thing, but
yeah,
I think
so
if that gets kind of revealed later or something as it goes or whatever, or something you can kind of piece together along the way. That's pretty cool.
So they're not like going to another dimension. They're basically going to another realm, like another enclosed structure, like the one that we live in, as far as like I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And so like, and I don't really define it like if it's something like within our realm, like a Hollow Earth type deal with like another sun,
right.
or
In a way,
like
it's kind of good to
it's...
keep things not as clear, because otherwise the more specific you get, the more you have to like explain things and make sure it all lines up with it. And if it's kind of up to like, it depends on what else you want to add, but I feel like having it be somewhat vague, I think is a good idea, because
like if you just casually read this book, like you probably wouldn't even know, like unless you really were intuitive to it, like you wouldn't even realize it's a flat Earth book, like because like I'm vague about it, and then my only real hint to it is at the end, like in the credit section, I have a basically like a flat Earth model.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like
but I think that makes it
like
interesting enough. What was that, Angus?
Like the firmament, the idea of
you're right.
The atmosphere is like a globe top.
Now, I'm not sure if there are outer lands or not, you know, like beyond the ice wall. So I don't include that, you know, like
I think that's good, because like if you get the inspiration for things like that later, then you can, but you can keep it all confined in this story for now as it is, and not have to worry about any of that. So
right,
good idea. I do like it when stories take, you know, the planet and make it different than just a sphere in a way, because it's it's usually a sphere. So it's like, if you can make, I've seen some people try to make it donut shape, or yeah, I rarely see the flat one though. It seems like an obvious one to do. So that's cool to see.
And then you can kind of like see like how there's like other domes, kind of like, so there's the start of other domes like in the background.
So it's like, is this on an old Cthulhu's table? He's just got
like an infinite plane, like Swiss cheese, you know.
Yeah.
Like another pond.
Yeah, who knows? Always something that can be something you can set up for yourself in the future, or, you know, just pocket.
Wait, so you are a flat Earth believer?
I'm absolutely a flat earther, yeah.
Oh no, I love science, and I'm like, no, totally not a flat Earth.
Yeah, I love science too. That's why I am. Like science disproves the globe in every turn.
You're gonna have to send me some links, because I am interested. I'm very open to like the argument of, I've just never seen anyone be convincing.
Well, how I became a flat earther was in 2018, and I had recently become a born again Christian, and I was just researching stuff on like historical Bible stuff, and I was watching this video on Nimrod by a man named Rob Skiba, who was killed during the pandemic by the poison or whatever you want to call it. And but he was going off like talking about Nimrod and like how they found all this archaeological stuff and whatever, and then he mentions flat Earth, and I was like, oh, and then like I literally like shut off my phone and put it down and walked away. I literally walked away from my phone, like I set it down and walked away, like. And it took me like well over a year to like come to grips with it and like wrap my mind around it that we're not on a spinning ball, because it's been so heavily indoctrinated into our psyche. So like it wasn't until like 2019 like where I was like, okay, like I'm watching that sun like come across the sky. We are not effing moving. You know what I mean? Like there's just no way. You know, like I'm watching it go off into the distance. It doesn't set. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and disappears. So, and then like what really convinced me was long distance photography. Like the Konica Minolta, no, it's the Nikon P1000. It can see for like 500 miles. So like, where's the curvature? You know, like it can bring ships back into view. It, you know, like it can see all the way across Lake Michigan, you know, like things that should be well below the curve. Like you don't need to, like for anybody like that would ever, you know, try to convince me otherwise or whatever, just show me the curve. Like you say that, you know, some people say, oh, well, I'm on an airplane and I'm flying and, you know, and I can see the curve. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson says that you can't see the curve from the Red Bull balloon high jump. So if he's saying that you can't see the curve and I'm saying you can't see the curve, there's no argument, you know? So that's just where I landed.
Huh. No,
Rob Steve is a good one.
No, I pulled this up. I'm going to dig into this Rob's Flat Earth video playlist.
David Weiss is a good one.
Rickie's going to totally unfriend me. I'm going to be convinced Flat Earth.
Yeah.
But
the Earth is flat. But
so,
like...
my question is, what would be the purpose of lying to us for like 3,000 years that the Earth is round?
Okay, like it's not like, or if you think that like people have thought that the world is round for 3,000 years, dude, you're wrong. Like the Hindus, the Incas, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Norse mythology, every single mythology, like everyone thought the world was flat.
Right. Well,
it wasn't until
let me back up. Let me back up a little bit. You use mathematics, right?
Right.
All right. And
the mathematics you can use is 8 inches per mile squared. That's the curvature formula that mainstream science gives us.
Okay. Well, I just meant more like broad.
Squared.
I meant broad scale. I wasn't really going with like, whoa, here's a fact, here's a calculation. No, just like mathematics. All these things were made by, most of the like mathematics we utilize were either made by or built off of the like mathematical cults of the Greeks. All this like geometry stuff was them trying to like understand like the universe. Yeah, all this stuff. Yeah, dude. These people didn't have telescopes. They figured out the curvature of the Earth. There's all these things we utilize with science nowadays that we don't necessarily see the connection, but like we've been building everything off of like this understanding with science, however you're applying it for industry, and then like space exploration. They've had the Voyager turn around and look at our globe, and all the other planets we see are all circles. They're all spheres. So I'm just like, why would, if we're the third planet in like our solar system, and all the other planets we look at are spheres, why would we magically be flat?
The only two things that you look at that are spheres are the sun and the moon. Stars are not spheres. Stars are not planets. Planets don't glow, dude.
What? Wait, glow? What do you mean?
Okay, like in the night sky, look at Mars, look at Saturn, look at Jupiter, look at Venus, look at Mercury. Those things are burning bright in the night sky. Like, they're not hunks of rock in space or balls of gas. They're wandering stars. They're stars.
Right, but stars are gas that are burning.
The sun is not a star. Like, if you, so like another thing, like if you take away like the lies of like the Masonic telescopes and you just look at like a P1000 digital camera, you'll see like, and if you like Google like real or no, if you like, you go on like Rumble or BitChute and you like look at real footage of stars, like real zoomed in footage of stars, they look like the reflection of a bowl on a wall. They look like water. They look like these weird entities.
Huh. Like they're pulsating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they pulsate, they change color, they and then the wandering stars, they behave like, you know, in their own, they're in their like own pattern, you know, and like they so they don't like go around the North Star. All right, here's like another example. Why isn't there a South Star? If there's a bajillion trillion stars, like why isn't there one right at the bottom of the south that's not moving? You know, there's only a North Star. And if you go to the South Pole, like no matter how far south you get, your compass will never point south. Like if there's two magnetic poles and your compass will never ever point south.
Huh. I don't know about that.
Your compass will never turn around.
I've never heard that.
It'll always point north.
Well, I'm trying to think because you so I'm not faulting you, but you're kind of like overly like, how do I answer that? Or what is the answer? Do I know? Am I aware of something like an answer? There was something you said a minute ago that I'm like, I kind of, the North Star. North Star. Yeah, what was it? Was there a star or some famous Greek? He like went to Egypt, and that's like when he noticed the North Star. And it's like, yeah, you can't see it when you cross the equator, get into like Egypt and stuff. So it's like there was like a pathology of thought of different experiences. It was like, oh, the Earth is round, and then also shadows. There's like the mathematics of shadows, where it's like there's a curvature. Otherwise, all the shadows would be the same.
Right. It's a very ambiguous experiment. The whole shadows thing. It's based on a theory called parallax, which flat earthers have disproven. The parallax doesn't exist either.
Huh. I'm looking this up. Parallax, and hopefully it doesn't give me like Green Lantern or something. Parallax. Effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to differ when viewed from different positions. Wait, let me look at this.
What's up, baby? You want to be on YouTube? You know I'm on TV right now. What? Okay. My daughter.
Huh. Sorry, now you just do this parallax thing, and I'm like, oh man, now I gotta like do all this research. No, it's interesting.
Just watch some of Rob Skiba's videos.
I got this playlist up of
like a science guy like you.
Radio.
Yeah, that's some old stuff. TFR. That's back in the day.
Well, yeah, I googled
Globebusters,
Nimrod, Flat Earth, and then the Rob Steery, whatever, Skiba popped up. So.
My main question would be, what would be the advantage of saying, no, it isn't flat, it's round? Like, what's the advantage by saying that?
Like, it basically, like, that's a really hard question, but, like, if you live on a ball, you live on a prison.
You say
like
prism or prison?
Prison.
Okay.
In a jail. Like, there's nothing else. Like, you know, in the Truman Show, like when he's like, I want to explore the world, and she pulls down the map and she's like, look, there's nothing else to explore. It's already all there. Like, that's what it's putting in your mind. You know, so if you research like Flat Earth and you like research Admiral Byrd, Project Deep Freeze and Operation High Jump, which was in the 40s, like during World War II. They went down to Antarctica, and they found something, and he like and you can watch him on TV saying like, we found in Antarctica like an area as big as America. It is rich in resources like uranium and coal and whatever, and it was just like a few years later that he conveniently died. And it wasn't just a few years after that where we started bombing the firmament, like where we started like exploding high altitude nukes. So they were literally trying to like blow holes in it. And so and there's only one treaty that exists in that like is still in existence. That's the longest lasting treaty ever, and it's the Antarctic Treaty. And it like basically like 160 countries or whatever, like they police it. And if you try to take a plane, boat, whatever, and you try to go to Antarctica, once you cross the 80th parallel, they'll tell you you're gonna get shot down. Like, and there's like they'll tell you like that you can go there or whatever, but like they take you to like one tiny little area, and you're not allowed to even like touch anything because it's so delicate or whatever. You know what I mean? And so like to like keep us from extra lands. But I think like one of the main reasons is to keep us from God. It's if you realize that like if you believe in flat earth, every flat earther believes in God. Because every flat earther believes in creation. Because there's no way that we're in a domed enclosed structure, or even if the firmament is flat, just like we are, which is very possible. David Weiss believes that. Like, you have to admit there's God then. You have to at least know that like something or someone created this realm.
Well, why can't you be an atheist and believe in flat Earth?
No, you can't, because where did we come from then? How did we get here then? I feel like it just changes trying to figure out what it is, which I don't assume is easy in general.
Right. Well, so my thing is like, you could convince me of a flat Earth with like, scientific observation or something. I'm like, wow, yep, God has no bearing on if it's flat or round. That's kind of where I'm at. It's like, so. But yeah, I would expect, they're given the explanation of the Earth in the Bible without their technological understanding of the Earth. It's written in a way that's, I like what Neil deGrasse Tyson says about it, where he's like, people try to use the Bible in this like astrological or astronomical conversation of science. And he's like, it's not a scientific book. So like, I don't argue about the science of the Bible, because that's not the purpose of the book. Even if it mentions a factoid or a perceived factoid of the era. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't, whether it's flat or round, it wouldn't indicate anything to me about God. But no, I would, there seems to be anyone's flat Earth, they come to this through Christendom. So I guess I got to ask you, how do you feel about the Catholic Church? Because then I'll have a follow-up depending on how you answer.
Systemically evil?
All right. So I'm curious about this because Galileo, he was he's like, yeah,
Mason.
what is it?
He's a Mason.
heliocentricity.
Mhm.
Like his findings of the Earth is not the center. We're not like terracentric or whatever the right word is for centric. That was like sacrilege.
Heliocentric or geocentric?
Geocentric, yeah. His observations disproved geocentricity, and that was like blasphemy for the Catholic Church. So it's like the Catholic Church was in favor of like what flat Earth theorists believe in, at least in that point. But then it's like, well, the Catholic Church is evil, and it's like, but the Catholic Church was also probably against Christopher Columbus, who was also a cog in the wheel of disproving flat Earth, because they're like, well, you're going to fall off the edge, and then he finds the Americas, and they're like, oh, well, now I'll start exploring. And so it's like, that's where I get confused, because it's like, from your Twitter, it seems you're very like pro-America. You love like the ideals of our Constitution. It's like, this is all written by Masons. Like all of our American ideals are Masonic, but then Masonry is evil. And that's where it gets confusing, because lots of like QAnon, flat Earth.
I think
I'm not saying you're the same thing, but there's like these groups that are like fringe to the common consensus. And
okay, like with all right, we'll back up. So with like Galileo, right? Like if you like the transcripts from his trial like are still in existence.
Okay.
And you can see like from it that he was like like I love the Catholic Church, like I would never do anything to hurt it, like
he's got like a coerced
if you want me to recant all this, I will. You know what I mean? And they were like, no, you're exiled or whatever. Like, they did not punish him. Like, he got his own island. You know, like they like he was rewarded for what he did. And like as far as like, you know, the Masons being evil or whatever like that, like they're infiltrated or the Catholics being evil, they're infiltrated just like any other group. You know, like any other like big group of anything, like they've been infiltrated. You know, so like that, I mean, that's the like how to subvert truth, you know, and keep people from like realizing the truth. So I don't know, like it's fringe because it's not accepted by the government. Like the government, like what a government like considers a conspiracy is more like a scandal or a not or like, you know, like something like really heinous. You know what I mean? Like once you get like into actual conspiracies, like that's what like nobody wants. That's what they don't want anybody talking about, and that's when it becomes fringe. Does that kind of make sense?
No, I'm taking this in. I understand you already kind of have to have like a defensive, like, no, just hear me out. I know this is crazy. I'm open. Rookie's probably totally, you know, he's open to hear. He's objective, but like I think he's already got like a bias. I have a bias. I think I'm a bit more open in this conversation. But yeah, don't think like, oh God, I can't be here, or oh, why did I open this up? Like, this is very interesting to me. There is, I definitely see when I've looked into before to like flat Earth or things related, it gets into like, it definitely gets like Protestant, Christian, very, you know, it's hand in hand, Ken Ham kind of like creation museum also kind of comes into that, like that viewpoint of science and evolution comes in. I think that's unfortunate. I think like because the baggage that most people come to flat Earth through the religion, it undercuts you. If you had like legitimate scientists who are like, hey, you know, like I'm doubting this, or if you had someone like me, like an atheist, where I'm like, yeah, flat Earth, God has nothing to do with it. That could help. I think there's a bit more of a broad approach, but that it's
I do feel like in in general, there's too much of a nowadays where people have whatever science stuff and think that is fact 100% when it should always be up for question anyway.
Should always be questioned.
Like, people say like, oh, light speed travel, you could never go past it. It's like, well, how about until you do? And then what?
Right.
Then what happens? Like, everybody thought that when we would look at other planets, whether or not you agree that they're spherical or not, like that their other planets and other solar systems would be like rocky, like how ours are. But most of them so far seem to only be like gaseous giants as far as that goes. But
yeah.
And there are disk related things, and as far as they do as well, like disk patterns that I find interesting a little bit with certain stuff, which bring certain things into question. But yeah,
this is my daughter's first grade. This is a reading book that my daughter was sent to this summer. So she's in first grade, like going into second grade.
Okay.
And one of the couple of the most hilarious shots in here is this one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a trash can in space. I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
And then also, where's the curve? That's supposed to be in space. That's the Hubble telescope, supposedly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Where's that curve? It ain't there. Okay. And then another really hilarious one is this. This is the surface of Mars. Humans also send robots to Mars. The robots help us learn about the planet.
So I guess what I'd want somebody to,
Dude,
to explain though is like,
is real, if you think this picture is real, you need to go back to first grade.
What I'd want to hear though is like from people like, so what is the advantage of them pushing this though? Like, what is the scheme or angle? Like, I'm trying to see how, like, if it were to be proven, like, okay, like, if it turned to where it's more widely accepted that the Earth is flat, what
we can't let people know exactly? It's flat.
Like,
it's
I just don't see much changing regardless, I guess, but I don't know.
I think that would be something that like would be revealed to you over time, like if you were open to it and like willing to get into it or whatever. Like, I'm more mentioning it because I know, like, because of my personal experience, I'm not going to convince you guys, especially not right now. Like, I'm mentioning it because that's what Octagon's about.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, what all flat earthers do, is like, we're just trying to plant the seed, bro. Like, we're just trying to tell you, like, there's another option than this bullshit.
Well, I think that's a good way to do it then, because
convincing everybody or like winning the argument. You know what I mean? Like David, the guy that you should check out, Angus, is David Weiss, because he's not religious. Like, religion's not in it at all. He's super factoid. Like he'll be like, yeah, oh, you think we're spinning in a ball? You know how fast we're spinning? 1,000 miles an hour plus this plus that. You know what I mean? Like, and he'd just be like, it gets ridiculous. And and it's weird. Like, it all adds up to like 666 too.
That is why I love Ben Shapiro, like conceptually, when he's talking about politics, social commentary, socio-political commentary from Ben Shapiro, is that he's never arguing from Jew or Judeo-Christian necessarily. He's just like, with abortion, it's like, as a kid, even it's like I'm starting to become aware of the politics of abortion.
I hate Ben Shapiro, by the way.
I really appreciate that. Like, he is someone coming to the argument, and he's never like, well, the Bible and God. It's like, no, he's arguing these very logical, like this, whatever the topic. Be like, this is a slippery slope. This isn't going to go well if we like normalize X thing that he's commentating on. Some of it, there's a degree of like how serious or how petty the commentary, the topic is to even give commentary. But I've always appreciated that, and that's how I've always tried to like argue stuff where it's like, if you have to be like, well, God's like, this is stupid now because this is arbitrary. I don't adhere to that. We're in the same country. this is not a requirement to discuss gay marriage, abortion, whatever. Like, what is your argument? I've had this with a friend who's Catholic. I used to be Catholic. And he's like, yeah, there is no valid argument. There's no valid secular argument against homosexual marriage. And I'm like, the fact that you even table that, admittance to the argument is like, this is what we need. It's like, what can you, for that topic, it's like, what can you show me to make me vote against gay marriage without your Bible, or Quran, whatever. And it's like, that's, unfortunately, a lot of people that are religious, that is like the driving force. It should be your driving force. If you're a religion, you should be voting to like enrich that in the earth within the confines of being American, and like, well, you got to give people their space, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I really like that. So I'm very interested in this David Weiss character.
Yeah, check him out. Like, if anything, you'll learn a whole lot of facts.
Yeah. Well, that remains to be seen, fact-wise, but I am open to it, and I will. I'll legitimately try to put some time into this. Don't think I'm just like, oh yeah. Like, no, legitimately, I got these tabs pulled up. Like I said, I got the truth.
He goes down rabbit holes all the time, so
I don't bring it up all the time. Like, I wanted to bring it up because last time I didn't, and I don't like focus on it. Like I said, it's not the theme of this book, and like, you wouldn't even be like, oh my god, this is a flat earth book. You know what I mean? Other than this last page. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I'm not trying to like shove it down anybody's throat or whatever. I just want to be like very open about it, and I want to call it like, so like, I'm like one of the first people that like was up on this like before all y'all. You know what I mean? Like I figured it out way before a lot of people, and I didn't even really figure it out. Like, I just like watched a bunch of YouTube and with an open mind. You know what I mean?
No, I will go deep in this because I'm just gonna. Okay, so like, I am. I mean, I got Athena and her owl. I'm very interested in like Hellenism. So there's like a religious.
That's the name of my Leviathan.
There's a religious bent to me, definitely, given my history. I'm very aware of like the magic of life, of humanity, that there's like an X factor that we just can't explain, like our reasonings. And with animals too, just to a very minimal extent compared to us. But more or less, I just tell people I'm an atheist, because that more or less that really kind of generalizes me better.
You won't be if you keep on researching flat earth.
But yeah, like I'll have to, because I'm kind of a Christian apologist. When people are like, oh, the homophobe Christians, like, well, no, Christians, Islam, they're not homophobes because they're against. It's all
Angus
like,
will like these. Angus will like these. That's true.
Oh yeah.
So like right here,
freaky animals
says,
like that.
That's why I brought Athena along, just in case. She hasn't eaten in a week, and she loves the smell of fear. Perhaps the most common last word in history. I blurbed out shit. Stay back, Ruby. She pushes him out of the way, and he starts to fight the Leviathan.
Nice.
Really quick, what is up, GT Beck 1? We're hanging out with is this Image? No, this is. Can I call you Comic Skate or just an indie comic?
Comic Skate. I'm a flat earth comic skater, anti-vaxxer.
Nice.
It's Octagon. It was available on Indiegogo. He's got a limited run, and he's going to be back up again soon on Fund My Comic. And I'm a backer of the Indiegogo, so you'll see a review. I'm really way behind doing reviews of just mainstream.
Did you get this one?
No, I think I got the other one.
You got this one.
I wanted the other one because of Well, but this one was like more just like.
This one's more limited. 50 less.
Yeah. So do you have a time frame? Like I don't expect a specific date when you're gonna have the Fund My Comic run up.
Couple weeks. Like, I've got like all of the Gemini mailers. I was supposed to pick up all the comics at the printer yesterday. So
Okay.
I'm just and I'm gonna start fulfillment this. Hopefully, I'm gonna start fulfillment this weekend. So and I've just got like a bunch of head sketches to do. So I had like 16 head sketches to do. I've already finished like half of them. I was gonna like share a couple, just show you guys a few of them if you want.
Yeah.
I wanted to flip my for a second. Like I just want to flip my camera around, so I'm like looking at my table.
Okay, yeah, it's probably easier to show it.
GT1 Beck, really quick. I shared Ryan's link on Twitter. This is why I thought to have him on again, because we had a good conversation about like Jurassic Park and stuff, and he's done this comic that I backed and showcased.
Did I tell you I worked on Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah. Wait,
what?
I was like, man,
That's how I
Rookie's
got my
gonna
dude.
love this guy.
Wait.
Sorry, I'm-
In what capacity?
I was a rigger.
Okay.
Whoa!
Yeah, I said it.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Hard
I said
R
it.
alert! Hard R alert!
I was a rigger.
Oh, that's funny.
Riggle, what?
That's tight. Yeah, Angus and I have a love for Jurassic Park 3, and
Yeah, it's a
a lot
good
of
movie.
people hate that one. I'm like, I
So-
don't know. That was like a fun little one, not as good as the first, but different.
You know
type
what it's
of story.
about?
It's a good
It's
one.
about family.
Exactly.
So
Vin
what
Diesel's
riggers
dream.
do is they're lighting guys, and they basically sling cable, like lots and lots of power.
I thought
They
Rick
used
was
to
singing
back in
crap.
the day, like we used to use a lot of power. So you had like donkey dick, 4-aught cable, and it would take
I imagine.
400 amps a leg.
Were you on
and-
set for filming when the Spinosaurus is getting them when they're in the cage and in the water with the fire on the water and everything? That looks crazy to film.
I was just on the rigging crew, so like I wasn't on first unit that was my first job ever. So like I was
Oh,
just on
wow,
the
okay.
rigging crew for that. But like I did go out like up on Falls Lake and like see like I waded out into the lake with waders and like tied put lights like on parallels like out in the water and stuff like that. And then like when I saw the movie, like it was cool to like see how everything was like a lot of that like Spinosaurus stuff was like done on stage. A lot of it was done practical. They have giant T-Rexes and giant Spinosaurus like
Oh yeah.
to work with, and it was
A
cool.
lot more
like-
appealing than having there be like some dude with a green ball going around. You're like, oh, okay, that's
Whoa! But then you
Yeah.
see Avatar, and that throws that argument out of the
Well,
wall.
no. I'm just saying, just in terms of like being on set and watching people react, like that's just like when you're reacting.
Oh
to
my
some
god!
giant thing, that's what I was saying.
I just thought like, why don't like if the Jurassic World shit's so stupid, progressively stupider? Why don't they do some Avatar shit where it's like, all right, we've like spliced your genetics with a Velociraptor. Like, if you're gonna be stupid, go full stupid, not just like, oh, we're just gonna point a laser and it's gonna be an assassin dinosaur. It's like, you could just pay a guy with a gun, like.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's
It's a very
yes.
good point.
Is that Doctor? That's Octagon, right?
Yeah. So there's a one I'm working on now, and then here are some of the sketches. That people
Ooh,
are
man,
gonna
when
get.
you put inks on shit, man, it fucking wow.
Well, that's a good one.
Salamandroid.
That's a good one.
Shadowhawk. Do you know Shadowhawk? He wanted Salamandroid. So for his head sketch, he's like, "Can you do me Salamandroid instead?"
Wow,
That's a good one, dude.
dude,
Damn.
you better tag EVS in that. His
That was
new
really good.
Twitter's up.
He's not on Twitter right now.
No, he's got a new
Oh.
Twitter.
He's got,
doing,
he
like,
sent
all
out a
caps.
new an update that he has like an all caps Twitter.
Okay.
I think if you did anything back to him on Indiegogo at all, I think you should probably get an email that has it on there. I think.
I haven't yet. No, I've backed a few people, but I haven't backed him yet. I will like when I get a little extra money to just like buy everything at once.
Yeah,
Okay,
really
that's a good
quick.
idea.
You know what's funny about EVS is I kept getting email updates, and I'm like, dude, is he already shipping Cyberfrog 3? What the hell? Because I was getting this shipment update on my email. I just saw it in passing, and then I get a package today. And it's all caps. I'm like, what? Is this right? Is this whatever number 3 is? And I open up and I call her and like, oh yeah, great. I got Cyberfrog 2. Yay!
I had already sent.
I'm not a fan
bought.
of Cyberfrog 2. I love the first one. The second one is so disappointing to me. And I'm just like, yay.
Well, I sent him Cyberfrog 2 like months ago.
I didn't realize because he said, I either got your Rainbow the Brute or Cyberfrog 2. I can't remember. And so I rebacked Cyberfrog 2 because I had to get a refund just for money's sake at the time. And I ended up backing again. And then I'm like, oh boy, Cyberfrog 2. Yay. Most people are like, woo, I got my all caps comics. I'm just like,
you have how many more of these do you have to do here of sketches?
I have
like 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 more.
Which one of these took like the longest for you to do?
Salamandroid.
Oh yeah, that's the big boy.
Yeah, the smaller the better. That one took a long time.
Yeah, that one's kind of tough because he's the position that he's in, plus the tentacle positions.
That was a hard pose. So that one kind of took a long time.
You know, because you have to do it from behind, so you have to have some of their.
Yeah,
those are easy to probably mess up.
Like drawing back.
This guy's a dolphin person,
like that,
right?
A little. Yeah, he's a dolphin hybrid. So this is Captain Duma. This guy.
Yeah. Well, and nowadays I imagine it's like tough because so many people are hypercritical on like body shape positionings and stuff on things. So it's like if you're doing even a sketch, they're probably like, all right, well, why is their arm so big compared to their butt or something? Like it's like, well, I don't know. It's perspective shot. I don't know.
Well, right.
You're like, I don't know. It's not real. Leave me alone.
Like it's it's okay.
I got out of like art and drawing and stuff like that, like while I was working in the movie industry, and like for like 20 years. And it was during the pandemic, like where I like really got back into reading comics and drawing them, and was just like I had already written Octagon as a novel, and I actually have a couple of unpublished novels. And I was just like, you know what? Life's too short. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to draw comics, and I'm just going to do it. And that's it.
There's a couple of comic skaters that have done novels. Red Gaze. I'm not in conversation with them anymore, but you should hit him up because he's done 1 or 2 campaigns for his novel that has like comic elements attached.
It comes with like a visual aid along with it. And then his second book that he did was a full-on comic, but I'll be reading that sometime soon as well. I backed like 40 or so 50 CG campaigns, but I've only read like 3 of them, so I'm like trying to actually read them now.
I'm also open for commissions, and this is the latest one I just did.
Oh damn!
Was that she?
So this is Momentum Comics by Rex Christian. He does. He has a channel called Devil Flyer, a YouTube channel. And,
I think I've seen you like promote like, hey, I'm going on here when I was hitting you up.
Yeah, and so he's a good friend. We hang out all the time now, and he's become a really good friend. And so like he's been having me work on one of his comics called Sea Demon. That's who this guy is.
That dude on the right looks freaking awesome.
Thank you. Tight. He's really beat up. I don't know if you can tell. Like he's like all bloody and cut. And
I like seeing that these days because I'm tired of characters that come out unscathed. Sometimes I'm like, you know, it's easier for me to believe like a hero when they get their ass kicked, because then it's like, oh man, it like brings them down a little. Like they're vulnerable to be killed. So it's like, I like that.
This is some.
So I'm just laughing because me and Ricky got
gallery.
So much like we know each other, so it's like unsaid between on screen.
Right. I get it.
That's good. On the left, who's the guy that's crouching down a little bit? The darker one on the bottom there on the right.
That would be a Riga.
This is Bog. This is Silver Boa. This is Knight Rider. No, not Knight Rider. Storm Rider. And then this is Sweet Baby.
You just touch your boobs. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, these look freaking awesome, dude. I can't wait to see these color. Are you gonna color them, or are they just sketches? Like
I'm like he asked me to color them. I was like, dude, I really want you to have somebody else color them, because like I just want somebody else to color me. You know, like I haven't had that yet. You know.
Yeah.
and then this will be a wraparound cover, like so it'll fold over, and then I pencil the back. I kind of mentioned that last time I was on.
Yeah, you what? Was it shadow boxing, shadow lighting, whatever?
Light box.
Light box, and then you do the inks backwards on the other side.
Like I have a light box, and I just put it under it, you know. And David Williams, watching his show, is what he really like taught me how to do this. Was when you're working digitally, like you constantly flip the image to make sure your proportions are right, and this way, like instead of like traditionally, like instead of like holding it up to a mirror, like you can just light box it. You know, if you just like flip it over and light box it, like you can see like where your right eye was dominant, or you know what I mean, like you started to trail off on your perspective here, you know, but it looked right when it was flipped, you know what I mean. But like when you flip it over, like a lot, I don't know, all artists like know what I'm talking about. Like when you flip it over, you'll be like, oh shit, like that was too small, like that's too big, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very easy to see mistakes when you keep flipping your image, and digital artists like do it constantly.
No, that's cool, because I've never heard that till I had you on. I'm like, whoa.
Have you heard
Who's
of Gorgo? He was like a Godzilla character from like the 80s.
Oh, man,
I watched the movie. It was
sad.
actually really good.
No, just the name makes me sad because I love like Greece and learning about Greece, and Leonidas' wife was Gorgo.
Oh.
And yeah, someone makes the freak kaiju Gorgo terrorizing the city. It's like that's going to be more remembered than the wife of Leonidas, the greatest man of history.
Mm-hmm. I love it in 300 where like she just gives him the nod and he kicks him into the hole.
Yeah, she
said, kick that rigger in the hole.
Yeah. And that's what they're really. I'm not playing around. Like that's really what like the lighting crews are called. Like you know, there's the rigging.
No. It's just it's fun because
crew and you know,
it's fun because there was a joke by like rigger trended on Twitter for a minute, and Ricky showed me
because of Al Sharpton.
Shoe on head. Yeah, I don't know the reason, but shoe on head like
it was
had
too close to the N word. He was complaining about it. Because it was like it was a legitimate word being used, but it was like too close, so we needed like a shoe from it or something.
Oh my god, where is it?
That guy's been a racist and.
Oh yeah, screw Al Sharpton. Oh, I think so. I'm not a fan of MLK. Like, yeah, cool. He had some good speeches, but I think MLK would be right there with him today if he lived. He would be a race baiter. He'd be a hate whitey person. You see the sentiment in some of his letters. Like, I don't think he's the hero. I don't know why Republicans have to cling to Martin Luther King. It's so weird. It's like
virtue signaling.
Right. It's like it's
making
okay
yourself be a better person. Feel like
it's okay to be like, hey, Martin Luther King actually wasn't the great hero we've been indoctrinated to accept.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hate to speak ill of the dead, but. Like I definitely think that do you know who Jesse Lee Peterson is?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
amazing.
Amazing. You know, like so like I love that guy. You know, he has like White History Month, you know, in July.
Yes.
And you know, and he's basically like, the whole what do you call it? The revolution in the 60s, the thing that Martin Luther King was the head of. What do you call that? The movement.
The civil rights movement?
Civil rights. So he's like, the whole civil rights movement was like a con job. You know, it was.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, it was basically like what they're doing with BLM and all that stuff right now. You know, they're exploiting them.
Yes, you see it. Like as soon as Biden won, they're like, "Wait, we haven't heard from Biden or Kamala Harris since it's been a couple months, and they take an office." Like, yeah, because you're pawns. You're like the best emotional pawn to influence the election and win dumb young voters from college that don't want to be racist because racism is the worst thing ever. I have this weird perspective. I'm mixed. I don't really have a dog in the fight necessarily.
Mhm.
But racism is advantageous. Racism is it's natural. Is it good or bad? It's like, well, you look at the Nazis and like, well, that crossed the line, definitely. But it's historically there all the time throughout history. Different cultures despise each other, and their governments promote propaganda to villainize the enemy, and it's there for
It's
a
all
reason.
about pitting ourselves against each other.
Sure, I mean,
Like, it's how they control everybody in jail.
we're
Like, the
doing
most
it
racist place in the world
differently.
is prison.
We're doing it differently now, but what we think of racism today is like, well, this is like a survival mechanism of culture before, because throughout history, more or less, everyone was like, even watching like Pan's Labyrinth, which is set in the 40s Spain. It's like, if you saw a black guy, you're going to like think oddly because he doesn't fit in. It's like, who's that guy? And it's like, that's not racist. That's it's really a tribal survival thing. It's not good or bad to have like these kind of biases and concerns with difference, because you need homogeny in a society, and it doesn't have to be racial. You look at Rome, look at Persia, like Alexander's Greco-influenced conquests. They're multi-ethnic. You don't have to be homogeneously racially, but pretty much through history, every successful tribe keeps themselves pure to some extent, and that's why racism was like natural. I don't think it's good or bad. It's a survival mechanism, and it can produce hate crime and whatnot, and unfair advantages and disadvantages. But we've gotten so overly concerned with something that's just like kind of an implicit, and it's kind of case by case. I will not be controlled by the you got to be this way, because like you should, just like science, you should instantly start questioning. Like with COVID, it's like, oh, it's 100% effective vaccines. Like, what? Vaccines been around for 100 years aren't 100% effective. Like, what? This is an experiment. We should definitely be cautious. Even if we're all taking it, we should be like cautious at its actual effectiveness. And yeah, so anyway,
Race is a very easy way to divide people. Like, it's if the people, or the peons are all fighting against each other, then they're very, very, very easy control.
yeah,
And that's why they encourage racism in prison, because you've got a tiny little population guarding a very, very big population, and how you keep them in check is you have them just fighting each other.
Yeah, no, I agree that could be a factor. I don't actually want an answer. This is more of a rhetorical, just like statement. I want you to like kind of ponder. This is another little facet of many different unrelated things that kind of homogenize my kind of lack of religiosity today. But the most religious adherents you'll find is in prison. Like 99% of prisoners are religious. Whatever that religion is, depends on locale in the world and time, but I think that says something to be cautious about religion and your devotion. There's something there about everything stripped away and you have really no hope. That's where the most religious people are, and that is something that makes me very cautious. Just think about that. I don't even have a full developed argument to build off of that, but it's like that is an element. I'm like,
all right, I'll think about it.
Anyway, while you're drawing,
I just want you to know, between the two of us, one of us has been there.
Oh, wow.
Just saying.
I work with a lot of felons at my job, so I'm not concerned or typecast.
I'm a felon.
You've been, locked up. It's like people are dumb.
I don't have anything to hide.
You are being productive today. That's all that matters. So that's what I'm going to judge you on. But yeah, while you're drawing,
and I do it all again in a heartbeat.
While you're drawing, we're going to, I guess you just listen if you're not watching. We will be reacting to this. Where'd it go? I got to find the link from Rookie in the chat. We're going to be reacting to the. Wait, you sent me the Phantom Collective.
And that was in the private chat for him, but it's in.
My bad. I was like, I thought you sent me.
It's in your DMs for
YouTube. I'll find it. Eric July.
Shilly boy.
Eric July, and we'll be reacting to this video and commentating on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Shit. My my mouse, of course, when I'm streaming, it wants to double click. So I gotta use my pad. Let us share this.
Oh, he's blaming it on the mice.
All right, so this video is called "Well, This Is Serious" by Young Ripper 59, Eric July, creator of Isom, owner of the Ripperverse.
They're just going after everybody, aren't they?
Yeah. So here we go.
Maybe you've heard of this by now, but this is a thing. Good Shepherd.
All right, so it says our firm represents Good Shepherd Ministries International of San Bernardino, California. Parentheses, Good Shepherd, quote unquote. In intellectual property matters, Good Shepherd has recently become aware of your apparently unlawful actions discussed herein. Specifically, we write regarding your company's unauthorized use of our client's trademark Isom on behalf of Good Shepherd and is further explained below. And in view of your company's current active marketing campaign that ends in just a few days, also discussed below, we request your immediate response not later than a week from today by August 28th. So he's got 4 days. Confirm your company's decision as to whether it will, and whatever they're offering of, I'm assuming, cease and desist using Isom. So they're pretty much saying like, hey, you got to rename your comic character and probably cease and desist any further sales with that trademark. So he's gonna have to reprint everything for any future sales.
If he had to change his name, or if he had to change the character's name, I'm trying to imagine that as like in Isom 3. It's like, okay, this is Isaac.
Roger.
This is Isaac 3, and then it goes into why he's not called that anymore. So, that would be difficult to do, or a superhero name. So I don't know. I don't know why he's called Isom in the first place. So I don't know how he comes up with the names for any of the characters. So
do you know Angus?
Pattern.
I have no idea. I don't watch his streams or anything. If there's like big controversy about a guest or something or topic, then I might see it on Twitter and then dig in. But I don't watch a lot of people on YouTube anymore. I'm pretty much just an adherent every Friday to the Biggest Problem in the Universe on YouTube when it's streaming or catch the replay. Because, the Isom stuff's definitely got me re-interested in them, but I've been interested in them since Vito did the whole joke Twitter thing about Alex Jones and Nerdrotic and company. And I was against him for that. But I saw him on REKT on Dick's show discussing and stuff. And they're all friends, even with all their disagreements and stuff. And I love the comedy of Vito and Dick and their commentary about stuff. They kind of remind me like Red Letter Media, where it's like, oh, the topic, and they're left and right, what either takes, and then like they give you a curveball. It's funny stuff. And then I was already used to watching them, and then the Isom stuff took off, and it's like I get a kick out of this because Eric is playing like a total idiot with this, where it's like if you just like, haha, you got me, then they would have no fuel to keep negging on the character until like the next thing, and then it'd be a quick passing thing. But him playing this like unfunny straight man in regards to any of this criticism lets the jokes keep going, because he's so like, he definitely seems like Rian Johnson. That's the best comparison I can think of, where it's like any criticism about Last Jedi, it's like, oh no, that's stupid. My book's
worst movie ever made.
Right, but like he's like, oh no, like they asked him in Mark Hamill in that one interview where it's like, do you think any of the criticism of your movie is valid? He's like, no. And
Yeah.
that is the tone I get from Eric. And that's what, like, I was going to back Isom, but then I saw the huge success and I'm like, I got to be tight with my money. And so I'd rather give it to little guys that are just starting out, or like, you know, more or less they're breaking, like me knowing behind the scenes how much this stuff costs if you're not drawing it. Like, I want to help the little guys more so than this guy's like, oh, you made $1 million. It's like, he doesn't need me as a customer to keep him going. I'd rather, you know, he'll be down the line. And then I saw all this stuff talk about and how the book sucks. And I found the copy online. I read it. I'm like, wow, this is horrible, especially given the history of watching Eric and his commentary. I would like, this isn't like a rookie creator mistake. These are just like a bad story. And it's like, he's so entrenched in like, no, I don't need help. I'm writing good. And it's like, it just makes it funny for me. I love this commentary. But anyway, let's continue.
So you
Heard
read
is
the book and
alleging that-
you still have no idea why his name is Isom?
No.
It's a common English last surname. I know. I saw that in my research.
Is this like a slave
beginning
thing?
of the show?
Is this what he's pulling from? Is like some like historic black like slave thing
Maybe.
or something?
Maybe like because like you
Huh.
know when I was just googling it, like you know when we were talking in the very beginning, like it was like one of the first things that was coming up with besides the comic was like the famous like or coat of arms and stuff and the lineage of the surname Isom.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
don't
personally,
know
I
if
never heard of Isom until his book, to be honest. Like, anybody used the name Isom.
Yeah. I've heard someone mention isometrics, and like he's always talking about, oh, this critic is fat, and you know that's like a meme of his channel. It's like, well, this hater's fat, and it's like, hey, yeah, sure, funny, laughing fabulous. I'm fat, whatever. But that's a deflection from like whatever they're saying, whether it's stupid or not. You know, it's like, okay, we had our laughs. Fat guy. Actually address the criticisms. So whatever. But yeah, let us continue this video.
That we have had unauthorized use of their trademark. Don't worry, I have one of the best legal teams. This is something multi-million-dollar companies deal with all the time. We'll be handling this. Inevitably, my detractors are going to latch onto this as if it's some gotcha, oh, he slipped up. But now is the time to be serious. Outside of the given context, most of what I'm about to say isn't even aimed at the people that filed the lawsuit. The internet is an interesting place. We make fun of each other, and we can do that. We can make our gripes known, and we can dislike others. This is something that every individual is free to do. But I'd like to think that there's a line that shouldn't be crossed when it comes to initiating conflict. At minimum, one should be prepared to deal with those consequences. I certainly am. This has real-world implications, and because livelihoods are potentially impacted, I must take this seriously as the owner of this company. What we have right now is a...
Okay, so any commentary from either of y'all about that?
I agree that he has to take it seriously. I wouldn't let anything. I wouldn't like any they like with the lawfare that's going on these days with Trump and everything. They'll do, and like how they're going after Andrew Tate and Paul Joseph Watson, you know, like with rape charges and stuff like that. Like they can sue you for anything, and these George Soros funded Democrat judges like will just go along with it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Definitely take it serious. I hope this isn't
like
frivolous.
He's being attacked because he's on the right, and he's, you know, he goes on the Blaze, and he likes.
Well,
you know,
wait, hold on. Let me. I'm not disagreeing or accepting your offer. I'm actually going to look up international. Was it international? What the hell was that called?
International School of
Ministry.
Ministry.
School of Ministry.
Well done, Rick. I was like, what's he talking about?
Yeah, I was like, in my head, I'm thinking of Harry Potter or something. I'm like, the Ministry of Magic. What's the name of this? What is this? I'm like,
okay, so Isom, at least from my search, is crap. Its first page says the world's largest video Bible school with more than 20,000 training sites in 150 nations. Isom.org. And then it's like, yeah, so Isom is like a name essentially for this acronym. Like they utilize it on this website like the name, where it's not just like I.S.O.M. So, and it's surprisingly it's all in caps, like how Isom is on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if if I make Pepsi, but it's an acronym for plastic or something, and then they're like, no, we are Pepsi Cola. You can't use that because you confuse the customers or whatever. You can profit off of our success. This is an infringement. I don't know necessarily, unless you're doing like a direct 1-for-1 image, but then it's a different product. I don't know. Like if they made a Meth Gator soap, they could trademark that.
Well, if we had like Pepsi laptops or something,
right? It's like I don't know
like,
about like the field of craft if that matters for trademark infringement, because like, and also state to state, like he is probably registered in Texas, if not nationally. I don't know, but definitely his stuff's gotta be registered in Texas.
Yeah, once like again,
does that matter? Because like I'm pretty sure the company name I want to use when I make it, it's like what I looked up is like I can trademark it in Ohio, but does that what happens if there's like someone in Kentucky with the same company name, even if it's a different field?
Well, it's like if his company was named Isom or something, like, and that's it. I think there could be a problem, but I mean, maybe. But I assume it'd be Isom Comics, if anything.
Well,
so, like, I don't know. Like
it's like Ripa LLC, like, I think, is the company.
And so when he has an Isom book under the Ripaverse thing, I'm
Ripa versus Isom.
Well,
it's why you always see Marvel, like Marvel's the Avengers.
Well, it's like that's the thing that I feel confused how they could have claim to even try to sue when it's like a product under a different company that is. Like, there's so many differences that it's like I don't get how this is seen as the name is similar. That's like the only thing, and then I guess if you're stretching, you can go, well, he has like a cross on his crotch, so Christian. If it's like, but that's so nothing right now. Like that.
Well,
this is
I
so
think
different.
If they utilize that, they could be arguing that he is making or building what will be a Christian image for this character, and thus it's like. We are not in association, and we are a Christian organization. That's our whole bread and butter while we're registered for Christian ministries.
It's like, I've never heard of this Isom Christian group, so like I doubt they've heard of Isom the comic. Like I don't know, it just seems like fields that won't cross necessarily, or if they do, it's minimal crossing.
Yeah,
and even then it wouldn't be confusion because you'd know the two differences. So it's like nobody's gonna go, I'm gonna sign up for the Christian school Isom 2 on ripaverse.com. Oh, I'm confused. Like I don't think there'd be like, this seems really dumb to have anything to sue on to me. Like it seems so bizarre. But I think their claim. Oh, let me talk. I think their claim is more specific to the merch of Isom or something being similar to their merch, I guess. But since he has his own website, I'm not sure that if it was on Teesprings and there's two things that have the same title, maybe that'd be something. But if not, like it seems like there's really nothing.
Let's continue.
Book example of gay ops. Not too long ago, there was an accusation of false flagging, and I'm going to show you an example of fair use. Let's set the scene. There's more than likely some reference to me before, but a fat person by the name of Vito really ramped up his public hatred of me at the launch of the Ripaverse last year. Since then, very frequently, this person has made a point to speak negatively about me and this company. Oddly enough, his friend joined in. Once I publicly rejected the opinions that were masked as a review of Isom #1.
Oh my god. I gotta address that. They literally posted a 30-minute review discussing in detail the plot points, having read it and the criticism thereof of the plot. So it's like when he's like review, it's like no. They're like negging you on Twitter and whatnot in their streams, but like they legitimately reviewed your shit. EVS, was on there before with them and offered their criticism in that famous Flashcast stream because he, as a comic creator, sees the merit of their criticism, regardless if it's just like arguably a clout chase off of like a recency event with the success of Isom into Isom 2. So I like how he tries to just like review. It's like, no, this is where you get haters or people like me where it's like, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm subscribed to Eric. I thought about backing his shit. And I am a Vito fan and a Dick fan, biggest problem fan. Comic Skate. And so it's like when I see this kind of like backhand to negativity, specifically negativity about your actual content that is worth taking account of for your future products. That's where I'm like, dude, come on. Like, any commentary from y'all?
You first.
I thought it was funny when he said, it's fat guy Vita. It's just funny. Like
that was dope.
Whenever he says that bald head of heifer, like he said shit. It's funny sometimes.
Well, see. Oh, go on.
And the one thing I just wanted to say is that Eric needs to stop going after platforming like people that like have like 16 followers. He was like he was like, look at this person like, hating on me and blah blah blah, and I like clicked on the guy and he literally had 16 followers. And I'm like, why are you giving this guy a soapbox? You know what I mean? Like I'll send you 10 compliments of 10 tweets and compliments and stuff like that, and you focus on that terrible comment
dude,
that
from
some
God.
Nobody, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
So I had a beef with
Anna pick your battles, dude.
Right. I had a beef fan at Star Wars Girl years ago that I think definitely influenced my like stalling growth, given the sphere I'm in with Star Wars and the Phantom Menace, because with all of her size and being a woman, she can dictate the view of like what our interaction was. One of my things, like, it's like I blocked you because of a multitude of reasons, but you have all of these simps, all these fans showering you with praise for whatever stupid shit, and then all you do is promote all this negativity. Well, it's like this is just the YouTube game ever since like Trump Hillary. This is what like Trump Hillary and the polarization of every facet of life, and YouTube included, the algorithms. It gets engagement. If you're just like, oh, hey, thanks for, like, no one cares if you're like, I like something. Okay, cool. Unless it's like everyone hates it, and then you're the oddball in your sphere that liked the thing, like EVS liking Barbie. It's like, no, you can't because it's woke. And it's like, well,
wasn't that repugnant?
I love Barbie movie.
I had to switch off from that one.
But
I would definitely watch it.
Oh, it's
I'm not like hating on it, but like to defend it and be all on it and stuff, like, dude.
Oh no, yeah. You should watch my stream because I loved it. So I did the Barbenheimer challenge, or whatever you call it, the event. I saw both, and I saw number second. And honestly, the fact that there's a range of opinions from every facet of the internet. That you get like the political spectrum meme of like the quadrants, regardless of what your quadrant is, there is like in that every quadrant, there is a range of like and hate for Barbie. And you get like the Ben Shapiro review, where it's the worst movie ever, man hate. And then you get like Shoe on Head that is kind of in the same sphere in this category, and she's like, this is accidentally like red pilled and loving men and showing the plight. And it's like I kind of agree with Shoe on Head's take. It was my take essentially. Like whether it's on accident or on purpose, it kind of is pro man. And even though it has a trans person play a Barbie, the whole movie is argued in a binary of male female, which is crazy. You would think like Daily Wire would make that gender binary film to reinforce the binary. No, it was the woke Barbie movie argued its position from male female. And yeah, so it's a very nuanced film. It's not an easy. It says like, oh, and the wokest person in the movie is the asshole daughter that like is a bitch that makes Barbie cry. And you're like, why would you make Barbie cry? She's trying to help you. Fuck you.
She called her fascist.
Yeah, she's like, I don't run the railroads.
Yeah, I like how you changed your avatar to Ryan Gosling on your.
Yeah,
Twitter.
because like there's a scene that like HBO took it down or Warner Bros. But there's a clip that someone recorded of the film, and it's like Ryan Gosling, Ken, goes with Barbie as a simp. He like forces himself into the plot with her because he's a simp for that specific Barbie, and we got to be a thing. We're Barbie and Ken, you know. And he's stuck on like we got to be together, and so he's trying to like win her affection for a girl that doesn't show interest in him. And follows her along, and then they're both real. And the Barbie world is totally for Barbies. Like they don't even know where Kens go at night. They don't know where they live. They're just an accessory because that's the reality of the toys. And they come to the real world, and Barbie starts feeling anxious, and like everyone's like staring at me, and I'm just like, get this. She's pretty much saying like rape culture or something. She's feeling scared for her life, being a woman. So that sentiment is there, but contrasting with Ken, where he's like, man, like he's wearing a gay cowboy suit with Barbie. It just stands out on the beach. And then like, you know, everyone's like checking him out. And then there's a couple of gay guys that are like, whoa, you know, but he's Ken. He has no idea about sex and all this social interactions. He's like, wow, like everyone's looking at me. Like I feel respected. And then like he starts learning about the patriarchy. Like he goes to a bank or a gym or something, and he sees like all these like slideshow of like money with men on the money, and he sees like different Sylvester Stallone imagery and horses and men golfing and men with beers and men broing out after the gym getting out of a Hummer, and he starts like mimicking men he sees at work, like these executives where they're like having a little powwow in the lobby, and the woman comes up like, oh sir, and he's like, hold on, and he just puts her in her place, like you're gonna wait because I'm a man. And he's taking in this very surface level imagery of masculinity, and so then he gets very red pilled and brings that back to Barbie world, takes over and makes it Ken world. And it's like the whole narrative is like you need to be happy with yourself, don't rely on a companion, don't be codependent. And that message wasn't just there for the girls. It was there for the Kens and for the boys. And what's funny is, whether it's on accident or not, when they're deprogramming the Kenified Barbies that are going along with being sex objects, essentially, for all the Kens to adore them and be their casual, long-term girlfriend, they deprogram them with like these stupid 2015 feminism ideas of the plight of women and the wage gap and all this crap. But what really sets them off, they all go on a beach date with their Kens, and then they start ignoring them and pretending they're texting other Kens and all this manipulative shit where it's like, oh, it just kind of showcases on accident, I think, that like the world would have so much harmony if women weren't bitches that manipulate us. So that's why I say like the Barbie movie is brilliant, depending on your viewpoint. If you just look at the surface level, well, they say this, or they have a woman have this little monologue about the plight of women, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, it's like you can get really triggered by it. But if you look at the depth of it, it's like all the Kens, that they get conned by women to war with each other out of their jealousy. And then they all end up like coming together. And it becomes like all the Kens hate each other because they both like Barbie, but then they pull each other up and lift each other up. And it's like there would be so much progress and harmony for Kens if they just didn't care about Barbie.
I'm positive that your story was more entertaining than the movie.
No, the movie was like there was lots of laughter.
like that's why I like love like movie review stuff like that. You know, like I wish, you know, like now like I kind of like want to see the movie, you know, because
Yeah,
like
you're gonna love
because
Ken.
the only reason and pretty much the only reason why I want to see it is because your story is so good. And I'm sure, like, when I see the movie, I'm going to be disappointed that I was like, it's not as good as this story.
And Barbie's a good story. It gets a little wonky at the end, but, like, people got triggered because I heard about it, and I was, like, taken aback at the end. Because the end of it is, like, it's essentially a Pinocchio story. She wants to be a real girl. Essentially, the whole problem is they're in Barbie world. And she starts getting these like existential thoughts. Like you see her day in the life of a normal Barbie, and it's just sunshine and rainbows, and everyone's like, "Hey, Barbie, we're all Barbies. We love each other. We're all doing our Barbie stuff. We're in control. All the Barbies run everything." And then she starts going through her day, and everything's like odd and off, and like it's all plastic. So she doesn't actually shower, but she does get in showers because she's a toy.
She goes through, design is amazing.
But then it gets like, wait, my fake shower is cold, and then my milk is spoiled, and my toast is burnt, and everything's. And she starts getting celiac, and then she's walking flat-footed, which she's supposed to have like up on her toes, and it becomes like, oh yeah, you need to go to the real world and help your owner, who is like projecting these thoughts through you. And so she thinks it's the daughter, and the daughter is like this woke little bitch in high school, and her mom can't relate anymore. It's actually the mom works for Bart Mattel and draws all these doodles of like depressed Barbie and shit. And so she's projecting the thoughts through Barbie that has like awoken her to reality. And so the end of it is she gets like the permission of the creator's ghost, Ruth, to become a real girl. Real woman. So the end of the movie, it's like she's with the family, and dad's like a dumb dope, and she gets out, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm here for my appointment, and it's like, what's the name? And she's like, Barbara, and it's like, who are you here seeing? And it's like, I'm here for my gynecology appointment, and it's something to do with gynecology, and it's like at first I'm like, wait, that's like the end. It's like, oh, that's meaning like she's accepting being a woman instead of being a toy. You know, she's a
like, and she left the matriarchal ruled Barbie world to go into the patriarchal man world from their view.
And so like, yeah, it was very like, it does get wonky, and like the whole Mattel plot is funny because it is an attempt to like comment on like corporate wokeism. Like Will Ferrell is the head of Mattel in Barbie, and it's like, oh no, Barbie's got it. We got to put her back in the box, put her back in Barbie world.
Well, it's like it doesn't it also do like it's Barbie is for girls, so it's like, you know, Ken shouldn't be the main dude in it or equal things. It's Barbie world or something, and it's like, yeah, that's true. That this movie is. It's funny to hear Ben Shapiro not like the Barbie movie because it's like I never would see.
There's so many things Republicans.
It's like he wouldn't ever. Why would he ever
could embrace with the movie, even if it's on accident? Like again, it's a very turf movie. There's no, even with an actual trans person in the cast as a Barbie, there is no gender stuff in this movie besides it's left and right, man, woman, and this needs to be a woman's world, and then the real world is a man's world. And they're, you know, in showing it, like Ken takes these very juvenile, surface level memes of masculinity and the control of men in our patriarchal society, and he doesn't get the depth, and it kind of shows the plight of men, where it's like, what are we supposed to do as men? We're told all these like images, but that's not necessarily fulfilling either, because he institutes all this, but he still doesn't win the affection of Barbie. And that's why you get people like Jordan Peterson has gotten success. Talking about the Lost Boys, you get Andrew Tate with his very not that I think it is, but he's very abrasive to society's views about this plight. The Red Pill Manosphere and their contributions to the conversation. So again, this is why the Barbie movie is so much better than Oppenheimer in the sense that it is. I didn't expect to watch Barbie, what I thought would be a throwaway comedy for women, to be so thought-provoking. And then Oppenheimer's like, oh yeah, it's a pertinent film about a historical figure that went through cancel culture. No one's actually talked about that. That is like when certain black films come out that are like topical about racism or something, like Get Out or something. Those movies are sitting on the shelf until maybe we could put this out Black History Month, or oh man, George Floyd, Michael Brown, a black guy got shot by the cops. We're going to sell this to black people. You know, this like racist sentiment film against whitey. You know, it's the same thing. Like cancel culture is the thing. Chris Nolan is somewhat on the right given his body of work, and I think he found a right moment to like tell this story with Oppenheimer. But it's pretty much, that's a very simple takeaway. Cancel culture versus Barbie has so much nuance and discussion, and it's opening the doors of like, you can have a leftist viewpoint perspective or an attempt at it, and it can be actually bigger than your intent, like how I'm taking it, or just it is kind of woke in some aspects or whatever, but it's that doesn't necessarily neg its value. You can have that perspective and not actually be, you're not preaching at me, you're just offering a perspective. And that's the value of Barbie, is that you can call it, you can just chalk it up to wokeness, but it's not preaching at you.
Well, there you go.
So,
and this is our breakdown of Eric's video.
I don't know what got us in the Barbie thing exactly. Oh, it's you said my kin thing. You said my kin thing, and he. Yes.
It was EBS's breakdown of Barbie that got us onto it.
Right, you were talking about like offering up, the tiny people and stuff. I actually have no problem with like, you'll get these little channels that like they're just ankle biters, like he likes to say. And they'll get their success minorly from everyone hating the thing. But that's all they have, is that they don't end up having success. So it doesn't matter if you buy your platform, lift someone else up to have a platform. Because like the proof is in like the long game. So let them have their little moment of success biting your ankle. Because like, what is their value after that? And none of them really seem to have it. Like that actual fandom, all he's got is talking about Eric.
Right, you know where the term proof in the pudding came from? It's an English term, and it means that the bread will rise. Like pudding is dough.
Oh, okay.
And
I do love looking up the history of that kind of stuff.
When you like bake bread, the proof is in the pudding. Does the bread come out good or not?
Okay. All right, let us continue with this video.
Well,
if you have to go, that's fine.
I'm gonna have to split. My daughter, I've got to get her homework going.
Okay, we're gonna have to have you back on. We're gonna have to break down Isom 1 and 2. Have you read
for
both
sure?
of them?
I did. But I want you to do me one favor. You watch one David Weiss video and then invite me back on.
Yeah. No, I got the tab for David Weiss Flat Earth up right now, and then the first thing on the Google search says CNN: the Flat Earth conspiracy is spreading around the globe.
It sure is, dude. It sure is.
No, I appreciate having you on. I'm glad you. I wanted you to hang out with Rookie because of the Jurassic Park thing. And yeah,
it was very good to meet you.
Yeah,
next time I'll tell you about my. I worked on La La Land too, so I'll give you my Ryan Gosling story.
What? Oh my god!
Right. Sweet. Yeah, let's do this next time.
All right,
I'm actually going to DM that so we don't forget. La La
Land.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
Yep.
Okay, brothers.
Have a good one.
Good to meet you, Rook.
Good meeting you too, man.
Hail Comicsgate.
Hell yeah.
Hail Comicsgate. All right, let's continue with this video. Here we go.
Ramped up his public down talking. He can word it as if I'm the one tripping at the criticism, but having his opinion be dissected and then be discarded may have hurt his feelings. Since then, I've had several other things, very interesting things that have been levied at me, and we've collected the receipts on those. Can't give you everything. But this is how the internet works. So talking noise isn't a problem. There are drama farmers out there. They need to conjure up things. Some may consider it to be admirable that they have to talk about me to get the most engagement. But what happened out of this is what you'll take exception to. You may be thinking, why would something like this happen now? We are 2 books in and a full year removed from the launch of the Rippaverse. This may have something to do with it. In this lawsuit, they allege July Ripper's accusations have caused.
Okay, let's read this. It says July and Rippa, meaning his company, the LLC, actions using the name Isom and or the cross on the carriage's belt have already have caused actual confusion. And that,
wait,
by the readers. The readers still don't know what the fuck the cross is there for. 2 issues.
Well, it's like,
in.
I wait. So does their Isom video group have a character that has a cross on the crotch?
So they are a Christian ministry organization to help train pastors.
Right. Do their belts have crosses on them or something? Is that why?
I think the argument is that given the cross is a Christian symbol. It's prominent on this main title character. The title of the character is Isom.
Well, but no, already though.
There's a confusion of association.
No, but like this Christian group doesn't own Christianity anyway.
No,
so if he did have a Christian character, I still don't see the problem in that.
Well, given... Yeah, you can't we own Christianity. No,
well, and then also the name. Like, what if he had a character named fucking Michael or something? Like, what is it? Yeah, like I don't know. It starts to go down the Thor route, like you said. Like it you can't. I don't think they have grounds enough to do any of this. Do they have a character that is called Isom?
Oh, they filed a complaint.
Like it's so different. Like this is so dumb. But it's like in terms of like I just like for them to go. This is enough to do this, all of our video
an example of that actual confusion is shown in the following highlighted copy of an unsolicited email from a third party, which the sender specifically mentions the identity of whatever. And so the email is from Obtuse Gnome. The part in question is highlighted. Let me move my mic. I would be curious to know when the decision was made to make a comic book character using the name as the International School of Ministry, as Mr. July received any funding to aid him in the creation of superhero Isom. Info on the choice to have Isom have an image of the cross on his belt. And then it says, I thank you so much in extending your trademark name in such a unique way in the creation of a new superhero with a promise to use American-made books and products as well as...
I think he reads this in the video, so we can just have him.
Sure.
Or he reads most of that in the video. Or he zooms in at least, so we can read
actual confusion. An example of that actual confusion is shown in the following highlighted copy of an unsolicited email from...
So is this sent to Eric or sent to the Christian group?
I think it was sent to the Christian group. So it says, hello, I'm an independent journalist for TDS News and the biggest problem in the universe. And I was considering doing a story on the successful campaign for the Isom 2 comic. So I'm sure you knew Isom 1, the first comic in the Rippaverse extended universe by Black Libertarian Eric D. July, made a successful campaign by raising $3.7 million. As Mr. July also does some work with The Blaze, former Fox News host Glenn Beck's network. I love to see such amazing cooperation being done to create such an amazing packages and such a unique character who can also be a beacon to young black men and women, which is currently lacking. And then the rest that was said.
Okay, so this third party reaches out to that group saying like, you have you been in association with Isom basically with Eric July? Is that basically what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like, they're pretty much gaslighting. Like, I love that you're working with Eric July to make Isom.
So this whole thing is like pretending as if, they're confusing our group with that guy. With this email. Okay.
From a third party in which the sender specifically mentions the identity of the trademark Isom and the cross on the hero's belt. They then show this email from some guy named Obtuse Gnome that was apparently sent to them. In it, a guy claims that he is a journalist by the name of Roy. He concerned trolls pretending like he is doing a story of our success. After acting as if he loves to see this, he states, I would be curious to know when the decision was made to make a comic book character using the same name as the International School of Ministry. Has Mr. July received any funding to aid him in the creation of superhero Isom? Info on the choice to have Isom have an image of a cross on his belt. What we can hope to see with continuation of Isom on his journey to rescue Jasmine from prostitution. And if you could, the amazing choice to offer the buyers the option to donate a copy of Isom number 2. He then says, I thank you so much extending your trademark name in such a unique way. and the creation of a new superhero.
Okay,
it is
so this
apparent that
person,
this person knew
is entirely trying to like put it
You're
into.
like, wait, what comic book named Isom?
I'm imagining some old guy. I'm imagining that guy that used to be on all the religious TV shows. That old guy that's like, what is
like,
this?
I've seen what you've done for Eric July, and I pray you give me that
prostitution. A cross on the cross. What? Like, imagining some old guy reading that or something with the email. But so yeah, that guy is.
Hold on, let me show this image. Let me stop sharing this really quick. This is what I was trying to parody. Present. Come on, there we go. This is the meme I was talking about. This preacher, he's like, Jesus, I see what you've done for other people, and I want that for me.
Yeah, kind of like that.
All right. Let me show the video and keep going. All right, here we go.
They were doing. They were attempting to encourage a baseless lawsuit. But look again at the beginning and the end of this email. This person claims they were journalists for TDS News and TPBITU. Those obviously stand for the show of the two individuals, the Dick Show and the biggest problem in the universe. So is there actually a connection between the two individuals and this person that sent this email? Well, let's discuss. This person goes by the name Obtuse Gnome in their email. There happened to be a Twitter account under that same exact name that is
so I already feel like what he already showed is kind of like enough to like get the audiences and crowds and whatever to understand that it's a third party, like how this all happened. It's like a third party person reached out to that group with these claims, and then that's why there's confusion. But now he's going to go on and he's going to talk more about
Vito. So I didn't, because I wasn't looking at it when I was listening in the tub before the stream. Let me see. In the email, this is kind of damning for at least the finger to be pointed at Dick and Vito.
Well, as he just said, like they say at the top, like the DTS and base problem.
Yeah, TDS and the biggest
but I mean,
TDS News and TBIT, which is the if you go on Twitter,
right? No, I get it, but I mean, I could say that, but it doesn't mean it's true,
Right. So right. So him pointing this out, it's like, well, how do you know it's not some Ripverse goalpost idiot that's a shill for you trying to, now they might have, being a super fan shill of you, they are trying to start legal action against Dick and Vito because they're haters. And so,
yeah, it's possible it could be anything. I guess that's why, I'm saying, considering it's legal stuff, I would imagine showing what he's shown so far, I think is good. But as he goes more into talking about Dick and Vito, I don't know if that's a good idea. But.
Right. So the thing is, well, I wouldn't show my hand on YouTube about hey, I'm on to you, and the legal action's coming to YouTube, and it's like, well, this could really backfire if actually you've been set up.
As I say, because if they
by
could
a
be
fan
innocent,
of yours trying to
they could be totally
undercut.
innocent.
Yeah, they could be innocent, and it's one of your weirdo fans of Isom that can't stand anyone crapping on your book, and so this is a big ruse to point you legally at Dick and Vito, which I don't know a lot about it, but Dick used to have the biggest problem with this guy Maddox, his co-host. They had a big falling out. It seems from everything I could research, it was tied to, I guess, Dick started dating the next girlfriend of his friend Maddox, and he got real butthurt, which understandably, I think that's a dick move to ever. Ironically, a dick move to date a friend's ex-girlfriend. Unless it was oh yeah, I dated her in high school and we're 40, so there's so much life. You're totally different, it doesn't matter. But if it's oh, that's my ex-girlfriend from a year ago, that's skeevy. Don't do that. Regardless, though, it's totally legal, and this just seemed to really blow up Maddox, and apparently Dick won a pretty sizable lawsuit against Maddox, or maybe a countersuit for Maddox coming at him. regardless, Dick's still in control of the biggest problem and rebooted it. And he's friends with REKT law, and so he's got connections himself. I don't.
Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't go this far. I feel like it would be just as much as they
right. Some of these
things.
illusions is very biased that Eric will point out. Let's continue.
This problem in the universe. So, is there actually a connection between the two individuals and this person that sent this email? Well, let's discuss. This person goes by the name Obtuse Gnome in their email. There happened to be a Twitter account under that same exact name that has since been suspended for Lord knows what. This account used to tweet constantly at me and about me, and he only popped up after these two individuals kicked off their hatred of me. Here's an old screenshot from when the account.
I bought a single copy of Isom 1. I also have read Isom 1. Which cover? Let's see. Cover C, the mass-produced one. All right.
Was active. A new account has popped up under a similar name, profile picture, and what do you know? Look who the first 3 accounts are that this person followed. Surely it's just
got him.
Yeah, it's like, to me, that could just be a random person that is a fan of either groups and do that. I mean, it's not definitive enough either way, but I don't know. Yeah. When it comes to doing stuff like this, I don't know. It's hard to.
It feels like grasping at straws, or it's like like this thing. He's got a week to respond. So he just got this a few days ago, and the fact they have like this deep lore already about this obtuse gnome character is questionable.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Because, like, how long has this obtuse gnome been suspended? And then you already got this new gnome guy that you're.
Well, for all we know, they have somebody that literally screenshots every interaction ever. Like,
well, it was just like, dude, if that's the case, your whole weird team and shill fans. This is getting weird. If that's like, I want to know a timeline. Honestly, with this is, this is me being a bit like doubtful of this second. It's not because I'm a Dick and Vito fan, because if they are guilty of this like gay op, petty lawsuit, steering other unrelated parties to take legal action against you and jeopardize your company's potential and your progress, I would definitely condemn them and never let the end of that in chats and comments, whatever. It's like I can separate their comedy they give with bad actions, but if they did that, I would definitely have to condemn them, and they deserve whatever consequences they get for it. So
yeah,
I'm totally willing to be on July's side. If in this specific instance, if it's like guys I like doing shitty stuff, some Matt Jarbo level. Not that this is way above Matt Jarbo with his like false flag crap, but jeopardizing livelihoods and platforms and whatnot.
I feel like just the time and stress of it would be the most annoying. Like, especially if he knows like 100%, like all like that he's totally in the right, but it's like he's still got to deal with it. Like, I would hate that kind of a thing. Like, that's a huge deterrent. Like, if like YouTubers feel that way, like when their stuff gets copyright hit sometimes or copyright struck, it's like, fuck, you got to deal with, even if you're in the right, but you got to deal with it. And so it's like, you're going to bother or just let it go? Because it's, it's hard to deal. It's annoying to deal with alone. But yeah, continue.
Just a coincidence, right? It gets worse. Back in July, we announced that we would be working with Comic Books for Kids, an organization that has tasked itself with getting comics to kids in need. As to be expected, these two attempted to delegitimize our efforts and made some very bold accusations that we have receipts on. In this tweet right here, Vito claims we asked
if they need more comics, and they said they are already overloaded with donated product. They get thousands of books for free from comic shops who want to dump back issues. What they need is cash to ship the books they already have. They don't need Isom. So this is supposed to be screenshots of email conversation supposedly one of their fans had investigating this charity. I think Vito has a legitimate concern of, hey, pay me money to give a thing that Eric's claiming it costs him $17.50 to make a book, which is like, it sounds like a real stretch because how the hell would Image Comics make? I know they have more access to, make publishing deals and printing deals, but like, again, they are not Marvel or DC. They make $10 trade paperbacks to start. I don't think it would cost you $10 to make your Isom comic. If so, like, at the mass you've printed, the more you print, the less it costs per book is the thing. So even if it's like $5 to print your 100-page book, it doesn't need $17.50. It's a charity, so it's like their argument is like, well, you can't. I'm pretty sure there might have been cases about this where it's like, I can't be like, hey, I'm going to donate 50 Meth Gator books. So you, the customer, pay me to donate those things. And it's like, actually,
it's usually the way I understand
you might be making money over the top of what it actually costs you. Like, the charity should be break even for you, whatever your expenditure to charity is.
The way that I usually understand it, it's like buy one and donate one for free or something, or buy or you purchase two, but one is donated or something. Like,
at the end of the day, your expenses in this charity, it's like this is a tax write-off. Whatever your expenses were, if you're at a loss, not even if you're not at a loss total, if you're at a loss for like doing this thing, it's a write-off. So the money seemingly doesn't add up. Of the expense of like, hey, customers, if you want me to donate books, pay me half the cost of a book. And it sounds like there's way more over the top than the cost to do that. That's the argument that Vito is having. And not knowing the numbers, it sounds like a solid question to ask about the charity donation stuff.
Ask the charity if they need more comics. In that tweet, he shows an email from Mark, who is the owner of Comic Books for Kids. Sharing this may have been a critical error because we were able to obtain the entire email chain. In the original email, you see that Vito tried to block out the name. The original contact is from the same email from a guy by the same name. Yet again,
I was just looking over the
email from a guy by the same name. Yet again, concern trolling, this time acting as if he is so concerned about Comic Books for Kids being scammed. Here's the original email. Without the name being blacked out, you see Mark refers to him as Roy. Again, what we have here is Vito himself using the term we, which would suggest he's included with this specific contact.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Could be.
This was the thing. Vito famously. Sorry, Eric. I'm not trying to make you look stupid image-wise.
We all have this when we get paused.
There we go.
There we go. He's like, that's better now.
I done told you, don't show my face like that. But no. Vito famously has been ridiculed because he was having a people will surmise it as a pro lover of children, so to speak, trying to say bad words, argument, because he is of the vein that we should try to help lovers of children to not act on their interest of loving. And so instantly is going to get lots of ridicule for that perspective. I think it comes from a good place. I think he has an argument. I definitely think just the like bullet argument is asinine. It's not really an actual fix to prevent interested parties. But regardless, he said something like when we're saying, when he says like we about like, and so it was like we, and they're like, you are a map. And it's like, no, he's talking about, like, the context was like, well, when we're talking about, like, when the society is talking about this thing or how to fix it, and everyone just jumped at. So he speaks in this way. He's already been lambasted, I think, unfairly for using we. So that's not necessarily a gotcha you think it is.
I gotcha.
Parents, just how involved are they in this? Well, here they are on the show referring to contacting comic books for kids.
So we contacted that charity. So this is the final email that I got.
So we have a tweet where he uses this email, seemingly pointing to an example of we being in contact with the charity.
I see.
And
Yeah,
on video,
stuff. Yeah, this is not great, but
it could definitely be an argument offered by the legal team of like, haha, we got him.
Yeah,
and then
I
you should
assume
like,
they
yeah,
could have
well,
a counter. But
we're talking about our fan, like, you know, we, the concerned people about charity fraud, someone in the audience.
But what Dick says in a second makes it almost more likely that he's talking about in cahoots with
him,
the
in cahoots with
emailer.
himself.
With the email.
it
or
looks
whatever.
as if he does something similar. Remember, this is all a concern troll, and one can question if they care about this charity at all. They did down talk them as well.
Comic books
Is there
for
enough
kids.
backstory for comic books for kids?
Okay.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't want to fuck up that guy's deal. The comic book charity guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but then I thought, fuck it.
This is a bad charity first.
I'm a fan of them. I love their humor. I kind of agree with you saying, but no, they're down talking the charity. They're like, well, this is kind of a stupid charity. It's like, I guess it's nice. Like, hey, let's donate comics to kids if they're like cancer wards or something. They got something to distract them for 5 minutes. But it's like, of all things, like at the end of the day, there's some sort of money expenditure to give these comics to kids, be it the shipping by the comic store to dump it to the charity and or the charity to send the stuff out. It's like care packages when I was deployed. It's like, hey, thanks. But if there's like an actual charity to just send soldiers deployed in the U.S. Army Pop-Tarts and jerky and paperback books, it's like, is that really what you should be spending your money on to help America? I mean, the U.S. Army is well funded. You would know if you'll get your paycheck. That is the angle they're like crapping on the charity. It's like, is it really like a worthwhile charity compared to everything else, like St. Jude's or something? No. Anything to say about that?
Nope, I'm not usually a huge charity knower, really. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I go to the store, there's always like, hey, do you want to round up for this charity? I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm
in my head, I usually have it where I don't know what charities actually
It's like,
do.
I'm at Taco Bell getting quesadillas. No, I'm not going to round up 12 cents.
The only time where I consider donating is like at PetSmart, and they're like, "Do you want to donate like $1 for like cat things or whatever?" It's like, I assume that they're gonna put the money to a cat thing of some kind.
Yes,
so that's like the only ones that I don't feel.
Fund.
That's the only thing I don't feel that suspicious about. I guess is like ones that are that direct. So
we really need help euthanizing all these cats. We need your financial support.
Well, regardless, like, yeah, in general, I just don't go like, oh, there's a charity, I'll donate, because like I just don't know.
I'm instantly like, oh, that's probably a scam.
Yeah, so that I'm more likely to think, well, or maybe they want to be like good, but then can they follow through, and do you get a refund if they fail? So it's just like
it's like actually this charity was a fraud. It's like, do I get my money back?
I'd rather do my own personal ways to help people that I think will help, that I see the result of. Otherwise, like,
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, let's continue.
First of all, and this is where I said, well, I probably shouldn't say this kind of stuff because it'll fuck up this guy's deal. But again,
it's already happened.
Fuck it.
Perhaps screaming false flagger turns a lie into truth or something, or makes one feel justified in their questionable behavior. If you think
so what he was saying though was like that he's okay with fucking up that guy's deal too, which that in terms of all this can not look good.
Right, well, the way he's angling clips. This is just like news, where it's like this has so much nuance, and it's like, here's a 30-second clip. Trump said this, and they've done it to Trump.
No,
they clipped it where it's like he said the white supremacists that killed people at Charlottesville were good people.
Does he have a link to their stream in his description?
Let's see.
because that would at least give more.
That this was in
help
response to those
confidence to their
Oh my god.
to their
My
stuff.
mouse.
Like, if he at least puts the
Well,
link
Vito
in.
has a response on Twitter so far.
Well, I know, but I'm
that
saying
as well.
if he's putting out the video and he's like, because you just said that like he's angling the clips, so it's like if you at least have the original source of the video you're responding to in the description, then that means you're more like prepared that people are going to look for it, and you're like more confident that it doesn't matter how you angled it.
Yeah,
it's
I
still
really
the
hate
result.
Eric's like he'll totally like what Ryan was talking about, where he'll have these idiots with no followers and he'll like essentially promote them by having them on, which I don't think is bad necessarily, but he'll do this, but then he'll like talk around or oh, there's certain fat people saying this about me. It's like just show, just say the name. Like this idea of like, well, I don't want to give them attention more than like vagaries or something. It's like this isn't like, is this a fear of like losing your fan base, or oh no, they're going to become Dick fans or Vito fans or whatever is in question.
It's funny because like EFAP, like Rags and Mahler and them, like
they'll have the people they're crapping on. Come on.
Well, not just no. There's a journey with how they got to where they currently are with how they deal with stuff like that. They went from like, yeah, we're gonna totally have any grievances, whatever, whether you're big or small, you can come on. And they also had the perspective of like, it doesn't matter if you're like a big channel or a small channel, you're giving an opinion to me, I should be able to respond to you. It doesn't matter. Like your following account isn't an account of how big you are. It's like if you don't want a response, why do you say this? And then at some point it was like the people they would have on are crazy, like or mentally handicapped. They reveal that they have like mental issue of some kind, and so they're just kind of like, so we can't. That's why they haven't like they haven't had like actual fandom on or organized chaos, whatever, because they're like, we've kind of been through this kind of thing where. Like they could be mentally issued, or they could just be trying to get some type of clout or whatever. And it's just like the conversation isn't even worth it at that point. It's just not. You're not going to get anything beneficial,
right?
That's why they're
well in this specific kind of context. You saw the Flashcast stream, or you're aware of it. Seen clips probably on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's like this idea of like trying to like talk around your main big critic online.
No, I agree. So then
it's like, oh, now I'm stuck here and I actually have to address them. And it's like, it's good entertainment. It's just, ultimately, it's just fueling both sides to have further vigor for their sides.
Right.
And everyone can make money off of it. You're not
I guess
losing Isom customers. If anything, you're only going to lose customers because you got such a high price point and not a good book, not a good universe. And they're probably the biggest popping the lid off of that reality from everyone just sucking each other off. Woo, we all backed Isom. I don't even read comics and I backed it. Like that is a lot of the fucking fan base I see in the comments of every July.
Well, yeah, and no, it's funny because like, yeah, I'm one who has backed so many CGers and haven't read any of their books, but I'm an upfront, more of a movie guy, and I support some of the independent things. But I am reading the book. The thing is, now I have plenty of them to read, to where because they take so long to get to you, I'm not just I read it. Oh, now I have to wait a year for the next book to come out or something. It's like I've got plenty of books to keep me busy for a while, and I'll probably get more as I read these. And so it's like I've got a steady flow of of their stuff now to go through.
Yeah.
But
let's continue. Wait, wrong tab. There we go.
Sensible allegations against me in early August. Well, look at the timestamp. The claims that were in reference to the charity were made a full month before that. These claims could have been an attempt to get myself or the company in trouble with the state, and I didn't initiate that. What does false flagger even mean in this context? Here we
wait.
I'm not sure why he's bringing up false flagging.
All right. So, famously, the guy that was doing the clips every day of walking up a hill until I'm fit enough
to
shave
guy.
Yeah. Riley of
the Clipaverse.
Clipaverse. It's like they made Clipaverse, which is parody. So, if people don't remember, Phantom Menace days, even though Phantom Menace is still around, still everybody is around. Phantom Menace got in trouble because one of the 501st idiots tried to gin up essentially like false flags or whatever to mass report or whatever to try to take down. I think Stephen Wayne Art made the Phantom Menace logo where it's like Skeletor's head on a 501st person. and etc. It's like a meme of the 501st logo or one of their logos. And they're like, this is a charity. You can't parody charity. And it's like SNL has like 10 clips of parodying like feed the children, cancer, and all this shit. Like, we're in America. I know the person that started this crap was like in Romania or some shit where like they have horrible laws for parody and free speech. But America's fucking great for that stuff. It's
People
very hard to
parody
actually...
the big brother or like the big sibling things all the time or whatever.
Right. So as far as I know, I think Riley's girlfriend Mint Salad has been on stream talking about like we never sold. We just made it and bought it ourselves to where Cloververse was like it was a store, but no one bought it. It's just like a meme we did that we did ourselves. And regardless, as far as I know, it's totally legal, and they got like taken down by Eric and or his team. I think that's wrong. I think they should probably have at least I think they should have a legal action to at least attempt to like, hey, this is a legal injustice. From what I understand,
for all I knew,
parody and stuff.
For all I knew, I thought that guy was a fan of Eric's.
Well, I mean, he's super chat him, fucking Drunk 3PO and stuff. So, like,
it's like,
why make a deal? Why attack the guy?
I guess because I think of like the guy in EVS.
He's like, I hate you. Here's $50. Read my fucking comment.
Like, there's that guy. I don't know if it's just called Jabba the Hutt or Jabba the Cuck or whatever in EVS's chat.
He's always
sometimes.
crapping on EVS.
He's always shitting on him, but it's like, but he's obviously a fan. Like, it's obviously a fan though, and like the ones that pay you to shit on you is kind of like, I feel like that is typically a fan that does that. I mean, sometimes it isn't, but you know.
Well, yeah, you got people like
with him saying, I see it as him like with his goal of I'm going to walk up this hill every day until I'm fit enough to shave Eric is
your
like
arms.
That's just to me that's like a funny thing of like you want he's getting in shape, which is something that Eric wants people to do,
right? And so
haters, and I see that as like a funny. I saw that as like kind of a funny in a way. It's like a kind of meme, yeah. I guess like I don't know any conversations he's had with people that maybe prove that he's not, but like just from the offset, I kind of assumed it was like a meme troll. That was kind of funny.
Right, it's funny because it's topical.
And Eric is hairy, so it's kind of like I don't know, like that's kind of.
It's just a stupid thing, and then you flag the guy for copyright or infringement of your logos or whatever, even though it's a parody.
Well, but that's the thing. What did Ripaverse and Eric and them flag, or could some other person have flagged as well?
Well, no, they got a notice where it's like this person, it's like verified, so it's like Eric July or one of the guys that works for him, like Alex something or Alex James or something like that. So yeah, like they have the actual like email notice of like this person initiated this like DMCA or whatever of your Clipaverse. You've been like taken down on Twitter by this or whatever. Yeah, I think they. I think the spin was like this is for the Twitter. I think it was like probably like threats or violence or something like that. Harassment was probably the angle for the actual Twitter.
But I mean, it's
so all of it is like you're a false flagger. You or your team false flagged Riley and detractors or like trolls of you that like they're getting clout or having fun. They're building up a fan base.
I feel
laughing
like
at you
because it's like this is one of the things with the straight angle, kind of like what you mentioned before. If he played into it more. A more comedic face
like, this silly guy. I hope you get fit.
Serious about it. Like, no, if anything, like it should be like he should have like made a contest of like, all right, Vicky and the other guy Vito, like, how many of y'all can lose weight? Like they do a duel of the fats themselves. Like,
well, Vito is doing a duel of the fats. He's got like I think like $700 right now on the table to lose if he doesn't keep up his weight loss.
I'm specifically saying from Eric's perspective to meme on this, to be like I want my haters to be this guy setting an example. Go up a hill every day, film yourselves doing that, and I want to see you start losing weight. That's good.
And he starts making weird fucking like, edited clips and stuff. And well, it's funny because they have like a Eric on Drunk 3PO, and they're like, "You're fucking weird, but hey, keep sending super chats." And it's like the spin by Riley and company is like, "Look, these fuckers will do anything for money. Like they don't stand for anything but money." And so it's like they have extra commentary for their view of these people.
Yeah.
And then you flag them or DMCA them for their parody merch. which, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I understand, it should be totally fine. I don't know what legal action they will attempt to take.
It had scissors in the logo.
Clippers. Yeah, they made the lightning bolts clippers because it's the Clipperverse, because the whole jokes are going to shave you.
I find that hilarious.
It's funny. It's funny, and then they got taken down for it, and so it's like.
It's like I don't
now
believe
you've made
that.
people actually start fucking hating you. It's not just your comic sucks and you can't handle the criticism.
I don't think anybody ever thinks that guy would ever be like, all right,
It's
3 years from now, he's fit enough to go shave Eric, and that's going to happen. Or so, like, that's not going to happen. But this is funny.
Riley should make his own comic book about the journey of fitness to shave Eric July.
One goal, one man, one Clipper.
This man is terrorizing the internet with this bad comic book.
One thing I always hate.
One man will stand against the tyranny of Eric July and his body hair.
My arch nemesis is body hair. Body hair must be abolished.
He could make an indie movie with him and his girlfriend Phil or whatever, like fucking, what is that movie? Rainn Wilson from The Office. Super is about like kind of a Batman level, like just a street guy literally like making a costume and hitting people with like wrenches and shit. He's fighting crime.
Yeah. Maybe the Clipperverse gives himself a costume at some point, or the guy gives himself a costume.
He's got like a helmet that's he's got a Clipper head.
He's got a utility belt with like a razor blade,
scissors, and brush,
other combs, and brushing things, and like this little funny little parody guy.
I'm really mad because like Riley followed me, which is great because I had Vito on. I'm like, fuck, cool, I'm getting like new people, and I wanted to hit him and/or Mincel. I think Mincel's still up, so I'll pray him. Like, hey, let's stream. I want to pick your brain. You guys are funny.
Well, and it's like, because it makes me think about like when people didn't like Mad Max, and it's like oh, this is like a super villain, and it's like, well, that kind of makes it kind of funny for all parties that are watching, because it's like, instead of it just being
Max is taking his mask off. I had no idea. I'm so behind on Max lore.
Instead of it being just like the Vicky verse, he's like just like that's just who she is. Like people that create a persona to be like in this like
your hater
commentary stuff.
Like that's kind of Vito has a guy, the niggler. He's always niggling Vito in like his voicemails, where he'll be like saying something like, and he's like, he takes forever. God damn, he's niggling me. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so this is like, I think they have a legitimate, at least argument from perception online in the public that you're a false flag. You or your team are false flagging your detractors.
Or like, what could they do to maybe make it seem like they're not?
So the inclusion of this false flag in this lawsuit conversation is like, this is irrelevant.
Yeah, I was like, we're just talking about this now.
It's irrelevant. Of like, this is two separate issues. Is like this lawsuit.
I was confused why he brought that up. I was like, did they bring up
totally separate from a legitimate argument that you and or your team are false flagging critics?
Yeah, I think after he had the perspective of the email, that should have been where he stopped. But
yeah, it's like, okay, you present an interesting case that has definitely showing clips without the context of the stream in its entirety. Definitely steers people emotionally on your side, and sure, do that. And this only helps reinvigorate people to buy more stuff from you. You gotta help pay for the like Richard Myers fucking GoFundMe fight.
See, that's the thing too. I can't trust like legal GoFundMes anymore or something.
It's
you said with the Richard C. Meyer thing,
right?
It's like, oh man, I don't know who's in for
people
it.
Paid for him to lose at worst. They paid for him to like not actually be financially penalized in a court loss. The fans would pay for it.
Yeah, like so
they already paid up $250,000 to fight this fight for the little guy, and then he caves. That's why Richard Myers is a pussy. It's so sad knowing some of his lore, being a follower before of his comic channel and stuff, his commentary and his unabashed,
he's in the military.
I was in the Marine in the invasion of Iraq. and stuff. And it's like, oh, the internet hurts. I'm not on Twitter anymore. It's like, and then the lawsuit, what a bitch. I'll never back Richard Meyer, any related works. Because like that's one of those like, oh, like this guy's an SJW or this guy's a wacko, whatever. Ryan's shown that he's a flat earther, which is like, oh, like, that's not going to stop me from backing you. That's unrelated to your work, but it's like, oh, cool. Not convinced about flat Earth. But then that's not like an infringement of your creativity and your work, but like shit like that is like I'm funding you, the person, at the end of the day, being a counterculture movement of comic creation. You should be standing for shit. And yeah, so it's like, yeah, with this legal stuff or this is ultimately a sell for like the channel and the comic. It's like, well, you're not just supporting me to make this thing to fight wokeness. We're fighting legal tyranny of the state via the tractors.
This is unfortunately more interesting than Isom.
Oh, wow.
Because like you said, we're talking about this stuff now, and it's like we didn't even talk with him at all about the books at all for our guest here tonight. We didn't even talk about that at all because I thought this was going to be shorter with our commentary.
It's like, oh, he's having a lawsuit, and it's like I'm starting to pick apart knowing the Biggest Problem channel, especially being a patron of them, and this is.
Well, it's like I think that Eric and them did a good job presenting it like this, but like you said, it's like it's still just from their
so much in the air. This could totally be a misdirect, not by Eric,
and he said he's going to be silent, and he said he's going to be silent for a while and going forward about this. And it's like, well, I almost kind of wish that that's how it was at all. Like, maybe the initial few minutes.
Yeah, I would just like the surprise of like, oh, hey, you're going to court today because just give us an update. Like, actually, normally I stream today, or I do my weekly, my daily streams, but I got to go to court, deal with the state process. Over my comic book because of this and that, and I'll update you later. And then it should have been like just hold this in your pocket for a while until you got more credible.
I feel it'd be better to know more of the board before you play the piece, I guess, for us.
Yeah. Very interesting. So we got 2 minutes to go, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, we got more out of this than I thought we would.
Honestly, people are going to tune into The Biggest Problem. Like, wow, I love this show. It's so much better than fucking Friday Night Tights. That's why they're so scared, because they know all they got in the Friday Night Tights sphere of influence is like, yeah, we hate the new thing. It only goes so far. What are you offering?
I wish that they would do more, because they've had Chris Gore on, and they've had Ryan Burnett and some other people that have done some film stuff or more in the industry. I wish that they would have some centric episodes that focus on older stuff. I mean, even with our guy here that was just talking, like he worked on Jurassic Park, like that. These are things that I want to hear about. I was on Physical Media Show with Fanzine and Tom from Midnight's Edge, and Midnight's Edge, Tom. He's worked on film stuff before, like at least short film stuff, and he's done more than I thought he did prior. And I'm like, well, I've never heard those stories. Like I hear his commentary on stuff now and in the past, but like he also comes from a level of experience I didn't know about before. And it's like, I want to hear more about those. So, like him making a film that sounds interesting. Like, on Friday Night Tights, if they have Josiah on, it's like I want to hear about some of the filmmaking process that he's going with, or he'll talk about Taker's Crown a little. I want to poke fun at that a little. That was this film he made a while back.
That was Josiah's film, right?
Yeah, that was a silly one. That was like one of his first ones that he ever made, and it's funny to look at. And a lot of people use it as Epic versus gonna suck because the Taker's Crown. And it's like I think they could turn that into like something funny or fun to comment on.
Dude, they should just
give me more support to watching their show. Would be more entertaining. And
all Josiah has to do is like, I've always had aspirations to be a filmmaker, and I made a film years ago. It was a tight budget, and it was a real headache, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted. It's really laughable, honestly. If you just like ensure you're like, yeah, I did this thing, and it sucked overall.
I mean, that's how I am with everything I make, Angus. I'm like,
And-
I'm learning.
And so
okay?
you already put yourself at like the bottom, so it's like no one can like put you down more
only up
than
from
yourself.
Here. Only up
And
from
so
here.
it's like it's only going to get equal or better than this crap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what I'm saying too is that'd be more fun to see them talk about than talking about the latest movie that came out.
Yeah, honestly, I wish Eric would be like, "Hey, here's a hater review," and then watching like, I wish you liked it better or something. I hope you come around for the second issue, and maybe I can convince you that I'm improving in my craft the more I do. But no, it's like Ryan Johnson. It's like, no, it's good the way it is. There's nothing wrong. I had some typos, and like that like pompous attitude of like I'm just everything's great. Like
I wish.
I feel like the best creators, like we all love, like Scorsese, Tarantino, Nolan, whatever. Like they're so cerebral or so different. They're really hone their craft. They've been at a high level for a long time. If not from this, like Tarantino's he's always been at a high level. Even if he hasn't had the success financially with some stuff. Every film like it's probably his worst film you could say is Jackie Brown or Death Proof, but all like those are good films. They're just like after Pulp Fiction, it's like Jackie Brown's kind of like it's missing some whatever that magic was in Pulp Fiction that was different. It's just like you kind of lost it. It's like we're stalled or something creatively, but it's like it's such a complex plot and a big cast and. It's like you're never bored with Tarantino. But like I'm sure when they're making shit, there's a lot of self-doubt of like, it's gonna work on the fans are gonna get it. I mean, look at like Nolan made Tenet. Like he's gotta know this attempt at a time travel story is gonna go over people's heads. And how do I try to condense it down without sacrificing my vision? So I feel like creatives have a lot of self-doubt. Good, I would say good creatives have self-doubt, second guess. Like one of my favorite videos I made was that Saint Germanus video for Jeremy, and I was just scared of like Christians being triggered by and just fucking all just lambasting me for daring mock Christianity or something. And then I pulled the trigger and it's like, oh, like people like it. It is funny. Like. Thank God, like, but I had that doubt, and now I know, like, when I get to like that level, I was like, should I do this? It's like, no, I definitely should. Whatever the ramifications are, I should definitely just stick my neck out. But yeah, let's continue.
See one of them saying, I am on a false flagging spree because this account that was suspended, but the suspended account doxed one of our warehouse addresses and a personal home address. Apparently, that is false flagging. Could it be that someone is working overtime to attempt to ruin my life and what I've built?
Yeah, but I
feel like those are separate things, though.
Yeah, so totally report people for doxing. Yeah. Doxing is not cool.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like place of business, given that you, the personality, are at the place of business more or less frequently, that is a safety concern.
They should be in trouble
for you and your employees. So definitely report that. It's good that that guy was reported for the doxing. I don't know what the context would be for him to do that. Trying to give him like a chance, I guess, in the argument.
Wednesday, you're getting your hair clipped.
I don't think that account is Riley that he showed.
Oh, okay. I didn't see.
Yeah, Riley would be like ASC presents Riley.
So he's referring to a different account that doxed.
Yeah. So this was this is Ripishills. I don't think that was Riley.
Okay.
But I'm assuming Riley got taken down for his videos of "I'm going to come shave you, Eric." So it's like, you know how fucking fickle social media has to be.
It reminds me of the Little Giants. Like, I'm going to eat you for lunch, like the little scrawny kid says.
Yeah. So like this is like, oh well, this person did this. And it's a legitimate concern and worth reporting, but I think it's presented in this video as a deflection of like, oh, I'm just a false flagger for trying to be safe. And it's like, well, no, that person, your report could have also been for, oh, I don't like their criticism, so haha, I got them. You know, it's like they both can have happened. You can be a false flagger, or your team can be false flagging, and they're still a doxer as well. So it's like both parties can be guilty at the same time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's false flagging. Could it be that someone is working overtime to attempt to ruin my life and what I've built? I mean, this was said in that video.
I'm an asshole for fun. I like it. If I can say I'm doing it for kids, it's just a socially acceptable way for me to act like a psychopath.
Yeah.
See? So this is a big opportunity for me to be cruel to people.
I think this is also, it's really important that
it's called motivation.
How expensive this is going.
Oh, got him. It's like, I don't think that clip necessarily supports anything you're saying about intent or motive or their resolve to, they're the ones behind it. Like, oh, look, he likes to be an asshole. Like, Dick is a cunt. That's like the humor of film. You take it or leave it kind of thing. I don't know how to address that specific clip in this video of like this argument.
Yeah, I don't either.
Going to be, that's the golden question. So now the rules for the playing field have been set, and I'm the responding agency. Parties have shown that they have no problem either using the state against us themselves or running op campaigns to maybe push someone else to do it for them. This impacts not only myself, but the dozens of other employees and contractors that work for our company. Now, we sniffed this out a long time ago, but if we didn't, the ramifications could be very serious. We're talking things that destroy livelihoods and imprison people. Now, of course, there are some people hoping like hell that something like that would happen to myself as they start from hating me and then work backwards. But this is a step.
Where I'm at is I'm just going to laugh at the impending demise of Rippaverse. Like, you can't keep this price point forever for the product you're putting out. So I'm just going to laugh at like the dwindling success of a stale universe that's just like has no sense of understanding of itself and what it's trying to build.
I think he said he's going to try to lower the price point at some point, but I don't know how that's determined.
But imprisonment or whatever, it's like, or waste of money, legal ramifications, stuff like, no, don't like that. I just want to laugh at it. If the value or lack thereof of the books don't improve, I will laugh at the demise. Just like y'all, our sphere laugh like, ha ha ha, Blue Beetle, they went woke and went broke, like that kind of thing. It's not necessarily going woke. It's just like, you've taken advantage of pay pigs and it dried up because people kind of finally woke up and like, actually, this isn't worth fucking $50 a pop. It's crap. I was actually blinded to a kind of socio-political agenda of supporting you, not actually the merit of your book. That's what I'll laugh about. But if any of these allegations or allusions of guilty parties is true, can't support Vito and Dick doing that if they are behind it. But I do like the theory that, having watched this again, I've come up with that maybe this is actually a Rippa fan, a July fan, that is like set this up to make Vito and Dick look guilty. It's like this video being clear-minded, trying to be objective, being fans of all three of these parties involved to some extent. I keeping my options open to what the actual reality is. Anything to say to that? Or?
Yeah, I thought you were going to finish. The way you've ended on sounded like you were going to say more.
No, that's all.
Yeah, just waiting to see what happens. Yep.
Above just simple internet trolling or jokes. No longer am I playing around. Again, receipts have been collected, so deleting your posts, videos, and such won't do you any good. Just understand that
I
we
cannot
will
wait.
be acting
I
accordingly.
cannot wait for tomorrow's stream.
What you wanted
Biggest
after
problem.
all. We don't need to run a
I
crowdfunding
feel
campaign.
like there's like on his team, like he always says they have receipts of like everything, and so
It's
I feel like there is a person that is hired to like.
I feel like the
look
Rippaverse
for-
is someone that works for him or is just volunteering their time for Eric. That's like that's their whole purpose. Like, oh, look at this person, and it's like. Some of the stuff you share are like they try to frame Dick and Vito as racist for laughing at the Isom art of Super Killer on his neck. It's
like,
like,
well, I want one.
That's
of,
a joke
like,
on Vito because
want,
he is Team Floyd. Like,
I want one of the I want one of the Rippaverse fans or something to make a fat comic thing of Vito or something. Like it's
well, no, they've done
funny.
it. They've had one where they put like.
No, I'm saying like
Isom.
so there's like a back and forth of the art of like fan art of either
I
things.
love this
It's like,
rivalry. It's
that would be
funny as
that'd be
fuck.
kind of a fun. See, like so what I'm talking about is like they could turn with both of these entities with the Rippaverse and
This is
Dick and Vito and
McDonald's,
stuff.
Burger
There could be
King.
some
This is
there
Coke
could be
and
some
Pepsi.
hilarious
just-
back and forth with these guys. Like they
Like,
both have
they
comics.
should
Like
just
that's
get
funny.
behind the scenes and be like, hey, like we don't like each other. It doesn't mean we can't help each other make money. Because
Yeah,
at
it's
the
like
end of the day,
you
all we
spew
care
something, I spew something, and we both get money here, and it's funny. And if it's
yeah,
fun,
some
and if it's fun,
orchestrated chaos to
and if
play
it's
off
fun,
of the fans.
and if it's
whereas-
fun, like with like different fans doing art of each other's sides or something, like the Floyd one, and if they did one with Super Killer that's funny, or Vito or what, like that would be funny too. Like I think, and then we're gonna get you this time. It's like that'd be kind of funny. And like I said, if the Clipperverse guy had like a little costume and a little utility belt, that'd be hilarious.
yeah,
like that'd be funny. And that'd be like reverse Flash stuff. It's like, oh, my nemesis, who's like the opposite of me entirely, some white fat dude trying to walk around and lose weight to shave. Like, it'd be funny opposite.
Yeah, let me.
Well, in fact, we didn't talk about Ahsoka at all, and we're almost at the 3 hours.
Well, there's still time.
I don't want to talk about that tonight.
Yeah, you do.
I'm no.
You do.
No.
All right, so there's developing stuff. This was 24 minutes ago. Let me share this.
Like we talk about Ahsoka on next week's show because
well, we'll have a new episode to have digested. All right, so
yeah, we
Vito
get 3.
says Eric has rejected my attempt to assist him with his trademark lawsuit. Regardless, here is my statement. He says, to whom it may concern, TBPITU is an acronym for the Biggest Problem in the Universe. The comedy podcast found at biggestproblem.show. I am co-host of this podcast. It's going to attention that individual using the email obtuse gnome and identified as Roy Gerbil is claiming to be acting as a senior reporter for us. Our podcast employs no reporters. This individual is acting entirely on their own accord and without any direction from myself or the podcast. I do not know the identity of this individual. If you have been sent an email from this individual claiming they are an official representative or email of this podcast, they are lying to you. I urge you to review any emails you have received from this individual and consider that they are likely acting in bad faith. So Vito may countersue Eric suing. He says, if a creator wants to damage my reputation with slanderous claims, I have every legal right to fire back. I know the truth, and I know that I will be 100% vindicated. This applies to all creators, and moving forward, be very careful about what you claim, about what claims you decide to make about me, because you better be prepared to back them up. Let's see.
Well, I mean, he's not suing Vito and them directly, so Vito and them would be
yeah.
suing him on. But it sounds like they'd be having Rippa more on slander of their.
Honestly, okay. This is the other thing about Eric's video is directly trying to like, haha, we got you. Look, this person is working for Dick and Vito. Dick and Vito are behind this. They're trying to hurt me at every turn financially, and or other entities like the comic books for kids. I think Eric's spoken slander. He's potentially open himself up for slander, because slander is spoken, libel is written. That's the rule. Remembering that. Slander spoken. So yeah, honestly, this video, again, he should have just held this in his pocket till he had more credible, substantiated evidence before going to the public on a video. Because now, Dick and Vito can just copy down this video and be like, haha, look, now I got an easy slander lawsuit.
And it's like, and because especially
it's not just like, hey,
proven...
these haters are saying crap about me and he's fat. It's like, oh, these guys are trying to directly or through a third party hurt my business and get me stuck in legal lawsuits and stuff over trademark and shit. Not very smart, honestly. He should have just like kind of kept this like, I think, or hey, there's this stuff going on, and there's certain people, like just kind of the legal wiggle room of how you like vaguely like certain people I think may be behind this. We will have to see. But here's the update, fans, about a hiccup for my company. So
yeah, to whom it may concern.
This is this could be really messy for everybody. And with Vito having the Netflix notoriety, being on international news with that, and then this kind of potential like slander case, and defending himself from being associated as behind legal attacks. This could be really bad, because I think it's easier for Vito, being a lefty, to get mainstream coverage, and also they'll want to slam someone who works for the Blaze and Eric July being a Nazi, as far as the public control mechanisms would be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Did not expect this today.
Nope.
But yeah, if again, I want to state, if these are shenanigans, Dick and Vito can get fucked for that, and gotta support Eric. If it becomes clear, then definitely gotta support him. If not, I don't know. It's just like funny, I guess, if like he actually didn't go through the right mechanisms to like secure his trademarks. You know, it's like,
I want it to be like a Scooby-Doo thing, like, you know, oh, is it going to be Old Man Smithers? No, it's Miss Winglington. Some shit like, oh, dang it, we got the wrong one. Like, you know,
So yeah, this went all sorts of different ways. This review of the video, and talking with Ryan, Flat Earth, I had no idea. It's interesting. I definitely got a wormhole to dig into. Yeah, because like again, Stoney McIntyre offered this video guy about religion, and I told you about it, where it's like God kills himself for himself. And then it's like he doesn't give an actual answer. And so like that fucking frustrates me, where it's like I'm already not going to agree with the answer because I don't agree with the concept of God and what's established with this religion. But I want to understand what the rules are of your religion to explain this arbitrary dichotomy. And then you're just like, well, you just don't love God, so you don't get it. And it's like, well, that's not an answer.
Exactly. Everybody that's responding to his video is like very much convinced that it's all Dick and Vito now. 100%.
Right? No, he definitely made a great video.
Okay, so now you've given like you made them more of an enemy, and it's like, yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, but it could be a total fucking misfire.
One person says, Eric, what are you doing, dude? Did you even try to work it out with these guys who you're accusing privately? This has the potential to destroy all of you. I kind of agree. Like, this could be really bad for all of them involved for their stuff. Depending on where this goes and how this goes, everybody involved seems to be kind of stubborn, except for Vito seems to be the least stubborn in a way.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that comment. I'm trying to find that comment you were saying.
It was just wasn't too far down on my end anyway. So
screenshot it for me. Send it to me so I can comment. It's like, it sounds like a possible slander suit.
Possibly, yeah. Most people are saying.
See, this is what I hate in our side. Everyone, I was talking about this. Everyone's so fucking horny to have minorities on the right because, like, people don't realize it, but they're indoctrinated with oppression Olympics, victimhood on the right because everyone's like, oh, Gina Carano, you know, and they love to try to bludgeon you with the argument of cancel culture and whatnot. And we got Gina Carano. What about her? And just for her, and it's like justice for Johnny Depp. It's like, first of all, Johnny Depp is a Hollywood pedo, given what the general family's trying to like prop him up for their cause. He hates Trumpers, you know. He's a Hollywood pedo, but because of this manosphere kind of related case, you've made him a hero for whatever reason. He doesn't care about you. Yeah, he plays nice. He does like charity crap, goes sees cancer and you know, deformed people and stuff. He's got a nice side, but like he is part of the system, and he hates you. But everyone's so excited to have a victim on their side for the right because it's like the right position is not mainstream popular, and so it's like, oh, we hate black people. Well, we have Candace Owens. We got Eric July.
I feel like part of the problem is people on the right are always reactionary to something.
Right. Instead of just like, I don't care if you call me racist.
Like even the whole comics gate is reactionary to Marvel and DC and stuff. It's like,
well, I would say
as good as it is. I mean, yeah, but it's still like based on. I guess it wasn't like any of them. Like, you know, somebody else was just like, you know what, I want to make a comic book, and it was just like specifically all fueled by this and, you know, them being treated poorly in Marvel and DC and the way they're doing stuff. I don't know. I guess I don't know a better example of what would be like somebody just doing it, but everything does seem to be in reaction to something else on this side compared to that already just being what it is. But yeah, I feel like we kind of got this one covered.
Cool. Well, we will see you next week
for all Ahsoka filled episode. Unfortunately.
Well, to make it worthwhile that I put Ahsoka on the thumbnail and title. Ahsoka sucked, not necessarily for story, although there is the thing going around Twitter of Qui-Gon being killed by a stab, and then this girl gets stabbed and she's just in the hospital and recovering easy peasy the next day from a lightsaber stab. And it's like, what? You're just ruining the, like, this is a continuity thing of like, Darth Maul is a stretch, but it's a, you can argue a logical stretch. Palpatine being alive, the way they did it versus like the EU, it's a stretch, but it's still logically consistent. It's just now the problem is they didn't give him a Horcrux where it's like, well, it's dependent on this item. So now it's just literally anytime you get rid of Palpatine, it's like, well, he can just come back because there's no stop. There's nothing impeding him from just popping up repeatedly. So those are problems, but actually like diminishing the value of like a saber stab in the universe that like one of its major icons is the lightsaber. That is a melting force, and not having it like actually be lethal in a kill shot, like that is a big problem. But otherwise, sorry, it feels like it's just going to be too fucking big to actually be coherent in delivering successfully its threads. It's like, I want to say they got like 4 or 5 threads that they offer in the first episode of like, these are our concerns. That's the problem with Batwoman. Watch the first episode or two of Batwoman. There's just too much going on. And you can say, well, they're going to build it over seasons. But it's like, no. You need to have a central focus. Ahsoka Tano is not an established character in her show. You can argue about her lore in the Clone Wars and Rebels and comics and books. But, like, this is the first time live action. This is the first time a lot of people are actually going to acknowledge she's a real character outside of the glimpses of Mando and Boba Fett. Again, she's not really established in those. They're just going off of multimedia lore. And I think it's a big misfire to actually establish her and understand like who she is before these journeys are happening. Star Wars is a lived-in universe, but you need to understand, like Luke Skywalker, when we meet him, it's like, all right, after you see it, you understand, well, he's been doing this moisture farming as a kid whenever with his family for years, his whole life, since he's been a baby from episode 3. There's not a lot to explain. And there's like this weird hermit named Ben that you get the illusion he's aware of or maybe actually interacted with once or twice. Not really a deep relationship until after his family's killed and he's rescued from the Tuscans. Ahsoka has so much baggage of story and they never establish who she is in her show, her title show. And also I dug into the World Between Worlds from Rebels and it's like, oh, so she's like kind of a robot clean slate character after that. Not interesting. The only thing good in this Whammon show was Ray Stevenson. And I don't know how good he'll be given what this show is so far. And so it's very unfortunate. I think it's his last performance. And so what a good actor that seemingly is being wasted on a bad show. Not bad as story necessarily, but just it's lame. It's got no tone. What is this show? This is honestly worse than Obi-Wan or Boba Fett. At least Boba Fett had a tone. Obi-Wan had this tone. Regardless of the lore, logic, consistencies, it had a pitch to it. I don't know what the hell this show is. There's so many scenes where it's like, it's boring. Ricky was a camera Nazi all day.
Yep, and they can hear about the whole breakdown next week.
Next minute. Yeah, and I was laughing because Halle Berry has lost her, I guess, divorce suit or something. She's got to pay her ex-husband child support. I think it's like $8,000 and more if it's over like $2 million for like a project she does, recompense. So a win for men. Men are winning, and trans women are winning. Take that, cis women. Your reign is at an end. See you next week.